here for tonight. And Ed, we've got ourselves an amazing finals coming up here, jumping into our first game straight away here between Leif and Nia.
Yeah, so Life is using a dragon deck, and the other person is using a rune deck. But from what I can see from the mulligans, it looks like the dragon is the other deck they are using is control rune. This can be seen by the Ramiel that the rune has decided to keep and not thrown away, presumably to try to get to earlier setup with the carrots to reduce the life of the dragon player as soon as possible.
Yep, exactly right. And of course, we'll see how that goes across for the rest of the match as well. We're going to go into it in a little bit, of course, as well. As soon as we get the chance as well, guys, we'll let you guys know everything about the format, what's happening with the event, the streams you can check out, and everything here as well. But of course, as we mentioned, the game has just started here. Leif is one of our representatives, of course, on the English side, where Nia is one of the Japanese representatives here as well. And these guys are battling it out here to make it into the grand finals to get some sweet cash prizes up on the line. And of course, the moniker of being the first ever MSxREIGN Cross Cup champion here. As you mentioned, Ed, of course, look, we are looking at Control Rune. We're looking at Vehicle Dragon here so far. And we're already seeing the double cowl from there. I hate that. I hate seeing that already.
Yeah, I hate seeing that. I'm not so sure if it's going to get the third carol, and then we may have a repeat of what we saw in the Rage finals actually. Because there was one game where someone had a turn 5, turn 6, and a turn 7 carol to get to end the game like in their favor. So they are just one carol away from accomplishing the dream.
Carol has been the bane of my existence for so many months now. It hurts me so much every time we see it. And now, of course, then to come back in, Coliseum on high, being invocated out for the Vehicle Dragon. Of course, there's not really too much else there that Leif is probably looking to do. But here we go. I mean, what are these guys even looking at doing right now? I mean, Control Rune, I guess, could just whack out, I guess, the Ramiel. But I mean, you probably want to evolve that next turn, right, to get that extra play point.
Yeah. So right now, I'm assuming that he just wants to stay alive. The Mech Cap might actually be a dead card right now because there have already been 2 carols in the Runes player's hand. So they will not be incentivized to play the Mech Cap for anytime soon. So I think it may actually end up being a dead card for this game at the very least. So over at the Dragon side, he has already invoked the Coliseum, so I'm guessing that right now he may want to try to play a Dark Dragon Prison to actually get more buffs, and because the dragon will still be in ambush, and try to push more damage before the carols, the mech caps, and maybe even the embodiment of Cositus that's in the Runes player hands.
I mean, we don't want to see that Carol Festival come out too early, right? And just ruin the dreams. Of course, our representative of Life here as well, getting through here to the MSxREIGN side and tournament cups coming through. But seems like a bit of a rough hand for both guys. I kind of just having to stall out a little bit here on both ends. Of course, as you mentioned, Leif is the Dragon player here. Nia is the Rune player here. We're seeing from the viewpoint of Leif coming through here, getting our first follower out in Reggie. Of course, looking to get that bit of a boost and get the extra play points as soon as possible. Been Dark Mage being the next pickup here, but pretty sure it's safe to say we're going to see the Kakaitis Ramiel combo.
Yeah, I think that will be the combo that we're going to see, because that will actually allow the Rune player to have a ramp so that he can actually start the turn 5 carol, and also he will also have like I'm guessing the Scion to actually deal with any threats that the Dragon player may give, because the Phase Dragon does a lot of damage immediately. We are already looking at a Gorgeous into a Dark Prison Dragon next turn, and that will be at least 2 plus. That will be at least 2 plus. I'm guessing it will be 6 damage to the face. I'm thinking that he won't play the Dark Dragon Prison first, but it may also be possible if he wants to push more damage. But that will actually cause him to lose play points. So I'm not so sure whether Life will actually go for that play. So I'm thinking he will play Gorgeous before he plays the Dark Prison Dragon.
And you can see, of course, Scion does get picked up, and Ramiel already getting a big boost off of Coliseum. So I don't think, good old Gorgeous, as Shiro likes to call him, will end up getting that burn damage. Of course, the spell shield protecting that. Dragonic Call gets used instead, trying to search out here at the moment. The Cursed Fury in hand, though, could see that one potentially drop to insta clear Ramiel, get another play point going, but we'll have to wait and see because we are seeing Razor here. So, of course, another big card we're seeing in Vehicle Dragon here so far. The last words already being insane and getting Clash and Ward on top of that. Such a big card for the stack.
Yeah, if he plays the Ramiel now, he can actually suicide it to do a guaranteed 5 damage this turn. And considering that he's facing a control deck, maybe that's what he wants. It will also play around the Scion of Desire that he knows is already in the opponent's hand because there will be no followers at the end of this turn. Oh, but he's choosing to evolve it. He's trying to get more damage out.
Yeah, looking like it. So he's still going to clear out the Ramiel here. 7-2 here. So fine. I believe Scion's effect will go off before Razier's, right? So he's going to take that 7 to face. Or 5, I should say.
He's going to get it. Yeah, he's going to take the 7 to the face, yeah. So right now, let's see. Will he Scion here or will he just play Carol and evolve it? Because even the evolve will also deal with the will also kill the Rezia, and in this, if he decide to use the Carol evolve, he actually pushes damage instead. But for Scion, it's more of a passive play, and I'm not really sure that you can afford to be passive against Face Dragon, especially that right now you don't see full in hand, which is the main way to actually stabilize against Dragon.
Okay, so Scion will come out here. Forbidden Dark Mage being dropped as well, trying to protect as much damage as possible. Very, very smart move there. Of course, leaves the effect going up a 7-7 there nicely on board. Forbidden Dark Mage absorbing as much of that damage as you can. Of course, only becoming 4 damage with that amulet out on play. So a very smart move coming out from Nia, but we've got another Razia picked up here. We still have that double Dark Prison Dragon in hand, which is going to be an insane amount of damage coming through here. Plenty of options on the side of left here, plenty of spells as well to cycle through. I think it's sitting very pretty right now. It's just a matter of what's his play order, right? He's got to think about the next couple of turns, be worried about when these carols are coming out.
Yeah, he should also be thinking about using the Georges as soon as possible, cause he wants to actually make it so that the Dark Prison Dragons doesn't use so many of the play points off, especially if there's any circumstances where he's actually forced to play it. And then he doesn't want to get his play point odds reduced. So I think this might be a good turn, cause playing the Georges would actually just clear out the Scion. Or maybe he might want to do he might also choose to do a Curse Furor or Draconic Call to get more followers to see what he's getting. But Draconic Call will probably be getting another Georges and Razia, cause that seems to be his highest play point followers in this decks. He doesn't run Gandhi or Jova. Oh, he also runs a Hypersonic Dragonute as well. So that's another Storm options that's available for this deck.
Okay, so he's going to run the Resi in, takes another 4 because of that Dark Mage, but now that's used up. But the problem is Sign of Desire is still out here, 7 attack. Potentially going to face here, not counting the 3rd Carol picked up now. So we are getting that Carol Festival coming out very, very shortly.
But actually, I think that depending on what the Control Room players game, he actually use this round. He has 2 Dark Prison Dragons. Using the 2 Dark Prison Dragons, if I'm not wrong, would be 12 damage. Cause the first Dark Prison Dragon will be on a 6 damage. The second one will be on 4, and with an evolve point, it's exactly 12. So the room player needs to heal here. But the question is, does he know that he needs to heal? Or ward up with the Fluffy Angel?
Exactly right. It's depending on does he play around a potential lethal coming through here, or does he play it super safe? Of course, as you mentioned, Ed, Fluffy Angel being in hand. Of course, World's also out if he wants to get that draw. So we'll play that one out. Because does lose the instant nuke, can actually loses another world there, but another big 7-7 here on board, and still look to get the 7 damage to face. I don't think he's going to burn an Evo here on the Scion to push that extra damage, but we have to wait and see. But I mean, on Wings of Tomorrow, nice pickup for him to try and control the board a little bit later on, but it might be a little bit too late for that. As now again, hands over to Laf, and he picks up a Dragon Oracle. But again, as we mentioned, he's got plenty of awesome cards to work with here.
Yeah, there's Gorgeous, and there's Dragon Oracle, there's Curse Furor. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of options. I don't think the hypersonic is the play here, cause it's just a storm follower that resurrects itself, and I think it will be better to do a Georges to attack the Scion and then use Curse Furor to kill off the world. And oh yeah, but even before that, they will probably use the Dragon Oracle on 2 just to get more play points. And using the Dragon Oracle will actually help Georges get to do 4 damage to the face instead, and that it will be more damage that he's pushing through.
Yeah, exactly right. Of course, getting that last play point, seeing what the top card is, another Curse Fury, not a bad card to have in hand. Of course, you're not getting the play points, but an insta-kill is always nice to have. Razia, the last one in left's deck, will be placed down here, looking to clear out the Scion. Big 5 damage going into face there, and we'll have that Curse Fury to clear out the world. So, empty board space again, but again, now we're going to have to see if Nia is going to continue to play safe, look to drop the Fluffy Angel, or does he think it's safe enough to play Carol? Of course, still on Dark Prison watch here at the moment as well.
So he chooses to use the Curse Furor, hiding the fact he has 2 Dark Dragon Prisons that is able to push for 12 damage. So right now he has 12 play points. So yeah, the embodiment of Cositus is doing nothing right now cause it needs a follower on the board to heal, but Life has played this splendidly so well. He left no followers on board, so the healing options are more limited. And the thing that the room player has is Fluffy Angel, and he doesn't have that in his deck in his hand at the moment. But Folia is another possibility. But because he didn't play it last round, maybe that's why he thinks it's he may have run out of like healing options.
Exactly right. And as you know, we saw before World already being dropped, one getting burned off of that 2 draw as well, and now he's kind of stuck here, debating because this is a big mind game, really, that Laf's kind of forced onto Nia here. Again, as you mentioned, we are in semi-finals, of course. We haven't got a chance to tell you yet, of course, but it's a 3-deck 0-ban best of 5 set. It's only the first game, but the momentum can matter leading into these further matches, right? Especially getting an early lead coming forward. And this is a really tough position for Nia to be stuck in. He's going to play it safe. He's going to play the Fluffy Angel. We'll get a bit of a buff coming through for Coliseum on high, and actually burns out the Wings of Tomorrow to get the extra 2 draw there. The problem, of course, is he's got a full hand again, and he doesn't actually get the burn damage onto anything else. But, of course, Fluffy Angel will be big there to try and keep himself alive for a little bit longer.
Yeah. And he also draws another Dark Mage, so that could also help him stabilize a bit. But I mean, I'm not exactly stabilized, but reduce the damage from the burst that Dragon can do. But right now, Dragon can do like a lot of like 4 damage burst, so maybe it's not as useful.
Does he have
not as useful? I don't think he has. Yeah, because he needs to. Because the Fluffy Angel will heal again at the end of this turn. So. Yeah, so
the Coliseum kind of harming him a little bit.
Yeah, even with Coliseum on high, right now he can do a maximum of like 12 damage. I think. Yeah, but then again, the problem is that the Fluffy Angel is there, so she actually stops like a few of the aggression. And yeah, so it looks like he's trying to push more damage now with the Dark Prison Dragon going down 1 play point, but it doesn't really matter because next turn he's going to be back at 10 HP again, and now that he pushed him to 7 HP, there's like a lot of possibilities that he can do little. If he can play 2 Georges, or he can use the Dark Prison Dragon, evolve and go face. So that will heavily depend on what the room player plays in response. But unfortunately, I don't think there's any right now. He could perhaps play a Cositus and try to get Scion to heal up, but I don't think it was going to heal above whatever the damage that the Dragon player can do. The Dragon player should be able to do a maximum of like 12 damage next turn, if I'm not wrong. And there is also the fact that the Hypersonic Dragon Nuke can revive himself, so he needs to kill 3 followers, not just 2 followers this turn, if he wants to get the board empty. But oh yeah, he's like hovering over Alistair. That may be one of the options that the rune player can use to try to clear the board by. But oh, it seems like he's using Carrots now. He thinks that perhaps he needs to start going aggressive and not being defensively.
So it does get a clear. We'll actually get a perfect shot there because Carol will clear both the Dark Prison and it's the Dragon Ute there as well. Forbidden Dark Mage coming down to block as much damage as possible there. But is that still lethal there, Ed? That's looking like lethal to me, especially with that Ice Dancing picked up there as well.
Yeah, and, 2 Rogers just killed it because it's like 4 damage to face and 4 damage. So
there you go. So left pick up the first game here in this best of 5 set. Good guys, the West English speaking side on the lead so far, guys. It's good for us to see, but of course, I'm a little bit unfortunate for Nia is now, of course, 1 down, but again, still plenty of rounds for these guys to get through. And now that round's over. Hey guys, it's Bats and Ed here, bringing you all the action here for tonight. Going to get as much info into you guys as possible before these guys jump into the next matchup here. So, of course, we are the MSxREIGN Cross Cup, sponsored by Select by Sonic Boom Entertainment here for the finals, major finals here happening right now, guys, on the MSxREIGN stream. Of course, there's a Japanese stream happening as well, with all the action being casted by Hana, Aqua, and Inoki as well. So cheers to those guys for covering all the Japanese sided action there as well. Of course, for rotation, a best of 5 single elimination set here with a 3-deck 0-band format. Because very, very different to what a lot of these guys are used to. Of course, the English-speaking guys are used to in the normal cups, of course, normally having the ban being available for your usual SVO and SVO style cups coming through here. We are looking at now, it's going to be Rune taking on Dragon.
Yeah, it looks like to be a perfect mirror of the game just now, except that the roles are reversed, right? Where it's now the life turn to be the control rune and Nia's turn to be the vehicle dragon.
Yeah, so again, going to be a very big match. I mean, we already saw a great matchup there. Time to see how these guys can do with the deck. Reversal stop coming through here. I just want to quickly let you guys know who our top 8 were going into these finals and who you're going to be seeing now and currently throughout the rest of the night here so far as well, just as we're in the beginning of our second game here. So our top 4 representatives, of course, on our English-speaking MSxREIGN qualifier side, we have Dawnbreaker's Cryosome, Twilight Knight Styx, Lolicon, and as you can see, Laugh here currently playing as well, who are our reps there. And on the Japanese side, we have Jin, Mio, Yakiniku, and of course, Nia being here for the representatives here for this. But getting through to our semi-finals here, of course, Laugh and Nia, as you're seeing here currently, we have Mio and TK Styx coming through here as well, who will be in our next best of 5 set straight after this one. So as it means, of course, unfortunately, Jin, Dawnbreaker's Cryosome, Lolicon, and Yakiniku have all been knocked out, with TK Styx Yakiniku's match being the closest as a 3-2. So again, there's a couple other things we'll get through a little bit later as well, guys. But that's just your quick update while we had the chance here in the early game. Coliseum coming out here. Of course, not too much else happening so far. But again, it does look like Nia's starting to build up quite a big hand here.
Yeah, so he's hovering on the Razia, thinking to actually play it out. So maybe by playing it out, it might actually de-incentivize the opponent player from playing the Ramil. But I think it will still be the typical Cositus into Ramil turn that's coming from the Runes player side. So what other options does the Rune player have? He can actually play Cursed Furor to ramp up, so he can get more option 6 turns. Okay, so he played the Wormfire, getting the bike, and he's keeping the bikes. And then another possible big play that he's thinking of next turn will probably to play the bike into the Razia to do 6 damage if he can be killed next turn. Yeah. So, it's interesting that the Rune player decides not to play the embodiment first. So perhaps he's thinking that the not to give away any HP, because by playing embodiment, when you have more evolve points from your opponent, it actually does 2 HP from yourself, so to speak.
Yeah. So Ramiel being down, the first Razia of this game being placed down here by Nia, thinking about running that one into Ramiel. I mean, last time we did see the Razia getting evolved in to get the extra damage. I don't know if we'll see that here this time, but You do see Nia's thinking about his options here so far. Of course, the Evo being available, Adventure could be placed down, but there's the Evo coming through, trying to push as much damage in as possible, of course. Doesn't want to die out to that Carol Festival of all your max health magically disappearing. Adventure will get played down, so a big bullet bike being placed is going to be very useful a little bit later on. And now it's in the hands here, of course, once again, of Left to try and deal with this.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that the Carol play would be the best this turn, cause you don't really want to play Madcap when the Carol is in your hand. So right, if he there will probably more options for him to use the Madcap if he wants to actually recycle his hand to draw more Carols and maybe the other wards like the Folia that you have seen live mulligan away earlier in the game, or he might because right now Carol also wipes the board, so I don't see any reason why he wouldn't play the Carol here to actually start the clock ticking, so to speak. Yeah.
Because that's the problem that Nia had last game, right, Ed? Where it kind of just kept getting delayed trying to pull that Carol out, and it just ended up being too little too late. There's Embodiment of Cocytus coming down, picking up his own Scion here. Going to be useful a little bit later on. The Alistair potentially being hovered here to try and take out Razia, but we'll put that back in hand for now. Still considering it, thinking about getting that dude coming through, but as you mentioned as well, Madcap could be an option here. Have to worry about the Carol. There is the Alistair coming through. We'll just 8 to 7 damage here, and we are hovering a Fluffy Angel or Scion, trying to see where the health will come through. It will be the Fluffy Angel getting the extra 2, and of course an extra 2 on top of that when it gets taken out. But of course, Bullet Bike being available with Coliseum on high, it does stop any potential massive storm cards from coming through here.
Yeah. So right now, I think that the Dragon player with the Draconic call that he had just drawn will use it first to see. Okay. He knows what he's getting from Draconic call, but we don't. So we're not really sure what tech he will. But I think this might actually also be a good time to actually try to use it.
Can I just bring up real quick
to get more stuff? But
you go. Sorry. No, you go. You're fine.
Yeah, so it looks like he's using all the play points to actually use Georges and Razia, so to make a more imposing board that he couldn't have done if he used the Draconic Call. So that was a wise decision as well. That also prevents the play points from being deleted when he plays the Dark Prison Dragon. So I'm thinking that the next turn will probably be Draconic Call into and then one of the 4 play points cards, Razia or Georges, at the Dark Prison Dragon for the Dragon player, but I'm not so sure what the Rune player will decide to do in the meantime. Okay, he played out the Scion. Oh, okay, he played out the Scion and decides to use the Clash, so he will actually not really take any damage from the Razia because it all cancels out eventually.
I mean, in his mind, at least the board's cleared, right? I mean, that's his mind right now, of course. Not getting the health pack will hurt a little bit, especially running into this deck. I just want to bring up a point real quick here. Nia kind of flexing with the animated alternate art Forte Dragonic Call card from Shadowverse Champions Battle. Very upset. There's no translation of that yet, guys. I think everyone else is kind of that way as well. But it does have the double Georges here picked up. I mean, I'm not too sure if he's... I mean, he might look for one here. Have to wait and see. Of course, could just play the Adventure here because that will clear out time to Sire. Of course, having the Coliseum active, dropping another Bullet Bike, and could we see a potential Dark Prison being dropped here?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the play because that is going to be what pushes a lot more damage. So with the 2 Georges in hand, he is already guaranteed to have like 8 damage from hand. So he may want to do that now to push more damage, but he's choosing to keep it instead.
So maybe trying to get that extra boost of Coliseum on high?
I don't really think so. I think it's maybe because he doesn't want to actually bait out the if the Rune player had another Scion of Designer, he could have used it to heal it back up. I think that's what he was thinking of.
Well, I mean, Madcap got burnt there, so 1 Carol will be lost, and I mean, 2 worlds, kind of nice to have. The full as well, starting the final countdown clock coming through, but I mean, he doesn't really have enough. He kind of needs health right now, right? He kind of needs to burn a world.
He needs health right now. Yeah.
Although he is actually hovering the full right now. I mean, he could play out the full, grab Discourage, right? And then evolve and play one.
Yeah, that's also an option because Linker does recover play points, and this also gives him a larger board. But yeah, that will give information to the dragon player that he already has the Scrooge or the Rite of the Ignorant ready to go. I'm not so sure he wants to give that info, but perhaps it's worth it.
Okay, well, he's
Yep.
going to play the ball here anyway. Looking for the Evo, I'm going to have the World. So, again, looking for
Yeah.
that board presence, as you mentioned, Ed, and going to get some extra health back with the World. 2 cards, nice pot of greed. Definitely help him out here. Going to take a Force Barrier and another embodiment of Cocytus. Of course, Discourage being huge, definitely needs to try and drop that as soon as possible. But here comes the response coming through from Nia. Wormfire Engineer being picked up. We'll add another Bullet Bike onto the board, but I mean, I don't think that's really the card he's looking for here at the moment, but that big Dark Prison coming through, this is going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah, but I don't think it's enough for Lethal here because it looks like the maximum he can do is 16 damage. What he would have definitely appreciated is a Storm option like Reggie or another Dark Prison Dragon, but unfortunately he didn't get that. So he will have to see. He will. And so this, and as you can see, the fact that he didn't push damage last time caused him to kind of like lose out this turn, right? Because if he had played it, then he would have more play points to play the double Georges this turn, and that might have been lethal. Yes.
Well, he's going to play one of them now anyway to try and get that clear coming through. Nice burn will be coming through. Anyway, the Evo, the last Evo being available for Nia will be dropped on the Georges to get the insta-kill, to take out the World, and we're still getting a big 10 damage to face. Wormfire will follow up at the end for that final Bullet Bike. That's a scary board to deal with here, and it's going to try and see if life can even survive this next upcoming turn.
Oh, but unfortunately, I think the Room player has stabilized because he has the Cocytus in hand. He just needs to use the Magic Missile on the Georges, then use the embodiment of Cocytus. Use Cyan to kill the engineer, and then with the Cyan's effect heal back up 10 HP from the Dark Prison Dragon that's been left on board. So it looks like the Room player is stabilizing very well at the moment.
So pretty much a perfect card to pick up, right? Magic Missile coming out of nowhere, the savior, the 1 damage and draw. Definitely going to help. But of course, that's what Big Brain Ed can see. Can Laff see this here as well? Force Barrier is actually going to be dropped here. Embodiment of Cocytus will be followed up, so it won't take any of that damage. Sign will be dropped. And of course, now it's Magic Missile Alistair. Let's see if he can get the combo right. So actually, no, he'll run that one in. Magic Missile will be dropped, hopefully. I mean, you still get the 1 ping. That's okay. That's fine because I mean, 5 burn. Turn 10 next turn, so that's still going to be big as well. And Reggie,
it's not the 10th turn next turn actually. It's going to be the 9th turn because he used the Ramio to ramp up 1 play point, so it's not actually the 10th turn yet.
Exactly right. This match has been so crazy. I'm losing track of turns.
Yeah. It's a common mistake. It's a common mistake myself. Sometimes I also make plans around the fact that I will get the world next turn, and then I'm like, oh, where's the world? And then I check my battle records, and then hey, there's a world there. Why is it not involved yet? Oh yeah, it's the 9. Yeah.
But right now, Anea's in a bit of strife here. Reggie and George, I mean, 2 great cards to have, but as you mentioned, left stabilizing with the rune, getting all that health back 14 back on board here right now. And of course, all damage from effects being reduced by 2. So, I mean, George is just kind of out of the option here. He's maybe going to have to burn Reggie just to even clear Scion and pass.
Yeah, and that may be what he's doing, but I'm not. I think it might actually be a bit too late for the Dragon side now. The Reggie came 1 turn too late. If it had arrived last turn, the Dragon would have a little, but unfortunately, the card that decided to come out was actually the engineer, and unfortunately that wasn't enough to push any damage whatsoever. So yeah.
Oh, okay, so Georges does get dropped to get the 2 damage in. Will still clear out Sign and keeps Reggie for now for that Storm. Another full being picked up here right now. But honestly, I could see a world drop coming here. I mean, the extra 5, extra 2, definitely going to be helpful and could maybe start the clock with Discourage.
And then at the end of this turn, he'll draw a card, and from the next turn onwards, there will be the altering tomorrow will actually start doing damage already. So he picks up he. Oh, so he's playing the right of the ignorant because he wants to draw more cards actually.
Mm.
He seems to be thinking that the Scourge is going to be too slow now, so you might as well use more cards to actually draw like the important cards like Carol and all that to try to get the more important cards that will actually help with killing the opponent. Yeah,
so
but
big for that.
Sorry. Oh, okay. So it seems like the world has been invoked now. So that actually may affect things because it's like going to be a constant 4 damage ping to from the dragon side. So
Yep.
so even the rune player can't actually delaying too long anymore. They have to try to find ways to do damage at this point. So Wings of Tomorrow doesn't summon Gran and Jita yet. So he's probably going to play it to try and get more carols.
Yeah, I mean, we've only seen that one, but that unfortunately got burnt with the Mad Cat, but has had to be played by left to keep himself in the game here. So 5, as you mentioned, Ed, of course, that 4 burn damage going to be super important throughout the rest of this game. And I can't believe, honestly, how close, how back and forth this game. It's only game 2 as all coming through here. If you are just joining us, Laff is 1-0 up here on Nia so far. It is a best of 5 format here at the moment. 3 decks, 0 bans. So I'm going to see Reggie drop, expecting to potentially Dark Prison drop tier as well. We don't see a reason why not. Trying to get extra damage coming through for now.
Okay, so he decided to leave the world alive. I'm not so sure if it's going to pay off for him or not. So let's see. Okay. So what options does he have? So the rune player will be doing a total of 10 damage this turn. So maybe he will have to use the magic missile to try and see whether he can get a Karu. Because if he does get a Karu this turn, then he will actually have won the game. No Mag Cap. Madcap is a bit of a Madcap can try. He will need to attack with the wall first, and then use Madcap to actually try to get try to see whether he will get Kyaru, and if he gets a Kyaru, no, if he gets a Kyaru now, it's too late actually, because he needs the Kyaru first, and then attack with the wall. But since he attacked with the wall first, the dragon player will be alive at 1 HP. So it's probably in his best interest to do what he's doing right now, which is to heal up as much as he can with the time that he has. So maybe he's using the Mad Cat to actually try to guarantee more heals as well. Yeah, and I think that's also a very good idea, cause like the dragon player already has no cards, so even if he does draw a storm, he wouldn't have like the damage to actually do too much damage. Oh wait, he doesn't. Oh, they don't. Even the followers don't get killed. So he actually had less than 2 followers, but I didn't keep track of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Angel as well, big kill, and of course he still had that last burn of Altering Tomorrow, the 5 coming through. So right now we are actually going to see Nia lose to his own world burn effect of 4 coming through here, because there's not really a response coming through. Riser is obviously an amazing card, but unfortunately he's out of evos coming through here. I believe Wrenchsmith can put a bullet bike down but he can't actually get enough damage in, I believe.
Yeah, he can't do any damage. Yeah.
So
and the thing is, even if he could, the fact that when the word effect comes down, it will do 4 damage to the dragon player first, and then the dragon player will lose because it activated on his turn. So that's the rule of Shadowverse. When it's your turn and your HP goes up to 0 at the same time as your opponent, you will be considered the loser of the game.
Yeah, and there you go. He's decided to forfeit. There's nothing he can do there. So left now 2-0 up on Nia here. He's on match point to make it to the grand finals now, of course, for the MSxREIGN Cross Cup finals. Of course, if you are just joining us, you're here with Baz and Ed to bring you all the action here tonight. And, you know, we did kind of jump into things straight away. We've had an amazing night come through so far. Quarterfinals weren't streamed, but they were very, very close between the guys mentioned. Of course, we are best of 5, 3-deck, 0-ban format. It's also a closed deck format. So not even Ed and I really know the decks coming through, the exact cards coming through here. So there could be some spicy techs we haven't seen yet coming through. We'll have to wait and see. So it is going to be now for the third matchup again, watching from the viewpoint of Leif. It is going to be Forest taking on Nia's Control Rune that we saw in the first matchup, taking on the Vehicle Dragon, which ended up losing to here. Ed, we are on match point here. Laf is 2-0 up. He's in the driver's seat to take this one out. Do you think he can make this a 3 here, or do you think Nia can turn it around with Control Rune?
Well, according to other players that I've talked to, I haven't been using Loxis Forest much as well as a Control Rune. So I'm not very sure about these matchups specifically, but I do think that maybe because actually the aggression from the Loxis player in the earlier turns is quite high, so I think it really depends on whether the Rune player can get a good Mad Cap going. And he already has a Mad Cap, and he also is drawing 2 Kyarus. So I think that may actually end up being a bane depending on what the board state is like when Loxis decides to come down. Because the fact that if he's forced to use Mad Cap, he's throwing away his most important weapon in this matchup.
Yeah, and that's a problem we saw in Game Run, right, Ed? Like, it was a very similar situation. He had double Carol at the start of the game. He drew him. I think he ended up having 2 Mad Caps in the hand as well. And there you go. Apparently, I've just read the future or something because it's happened again. Double Mad Cap, double Carol coming through here. And now in a very, very bad situation.
Yeah, so this looks like a typical Loxis Forest, but it might be possible that it's accelerate, but I don't think so. Oh, yeah, actually, never mind. I think it's probably Loxis Forest guaranteed, because I don't think the accelerate package plays cards like Vagabond Forest. So right now, I'm guessing that he wants to draw cards because he still has the Loxis in hand, and he would really appreciate having the Loxis to do a lot of combos with. Especially especially now that he has the Varmin Hunter as well. So with a Varmin Hunter and Loxis in hand, turn 7 could be very dangerous. I think I've suffered an OTK from that combo at one point as well. And he also has already a Giant Pastures in hand. That's also a very very big setup he can do on turn 6. So Ramiel evolve into Giant Pastures into perhaps a Varmin Loxis combo. That may be enough to actually win him the game. If he draws Loxis, of course.
Yeah. And I mean, he's got plenty of cards in hand to help with that, right? To try and find that Loxis here at the moment. A second Ramiel being dropped here by Nia. I mean, there's not really much else they can do here for the time being. Of course, we do see Laf with his own Ramiel he might want to look towards. Of course, having that play point increase. Of course, with the Evo being on the first Evo turn as the second player. You could see that one being dropped with a Kokoro. Maybe look for that draw. Of course, might want to even hold on to Kokoro to get the double draw. We'll have to wait and see. But quite a few options for himself. Of course, Elf Queen, not really going to do too much on an Evo here, of course, with Ramiel being up. So we'll hold on to that. Kokoro gets drawn. Another Shamu and Sharma being picked up. Of course, amazing Storm cards that can help you in the later game. And there is the third card, the third Ramiel being dropped here this game so far. Getting a nice play point increase there. Going to have a great field even lined up here. And again, we're seeing the likes of Nia stuck with nothing else to do. Magic Missile will definitely help. He'll clear out Elf Queen and get himself an extra draw, which he's going to pick up. And Alistair, again, be able to clear Kokoro with that. But it's a bit, it hurts quite a bit having to drop Alistair to clear a 1-2 on the board.
Yeah, but I mean, the Alistair can't even deal with the board right now because because the Rune player is at full HP, and when they are at full HP, Alistair does nothing.
0.
Yeah. So looking at the Forest player side, I'm not so sure what he's going to do next turn. Will he set up Giant Pastures, or will he try to dig for the Loxis first with like cards like Elf Queen and maybe Xeno Saji? Yeah. So As for what the room player now, honestly speaking, I think it's better to pass this turn and see what happens in the next turn. Cause like even if you do use the Mech Cap, you're just like throwing away all your weapons away. Your weapons away. At least the next turn you still have a Carol Evolve to actually deal with this bot if it remains as is. So I think the room player is just like contemplating on what he's going to do like for the next few turns rather than what he's going to do this turn now.
And as we flip to Lef's turn
Okay.
here as well, I mean, we could expect to see him play around a potential world on turn 6, maybe knowing that and seeing that Naya is struggling a little bit, could maybe be expecting to have a world to try and keep him in the game so far. Of course, he could just do straight up 5 damage here and play an Elf Queen, another big ward, draw a card, and maybe play even a Vagabond if he wanted to, and wait till next turn, have a 4 follower board, and just be like, come on, Neil, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Come on. So we can see that happen. I mean, there's plenty of options that we could see Left go for here right now. It's just a choice. Giant Bashes will be dropped in, as we're talking about. A big 5/6 follower. Plenty of amulets being dropped. Apparently doesn't care about a potential world. Of course, having those amulets on board is going to be huge and a big 5/6, but should be insta-cleared here by the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think a Carol play would be wise here. I think probably the world would be better. The world will take out the giant pastures.
Yep.
But personally, I would have preferred seeing the Elf Queen into Sino Saji and Wind Fairy to try to get more cards the previous turn. But the giant pastures is also a acceptable play as well. There's combos with Varmin if he decides to go that route with just what he has, and if he managed to top deck the Luxis, even better.
Yeah, exactly right. And you see Naya picking up another world, so of course another great card to have in hand. There's the lot being picked up as well, so you can potentially see this man finally being dropped here. Of course, Luxus Forest being played here into Control Forest. We'll have to wait and see if that is the option going forward.
Okay, so with this setup, there's actually a lot of damage he can do right now, but he decides to go face with the Remiel. So I think that this turn might not be the turn that the life decides to pop up with the Loxis, because usually what happens is that probably you want to evolve the into play Varmin and evolve it before you and then play Loxis. And then you can do a lot of like combos with, like, let's say the Wind Fairy to bring back things like your Steed and play them, and then use the Shamu Shama and maybe the Warder in his deck. Although right now he only does have like one Accelerate card, one Bounce card, so maybe he's not thinking of that. Oh, but never mind. He seems like he will be popping off this turn instead.
So there's that Eva, and I know Ed, you were talking about just a couple of turns ago, right? That turn 7 play with Hunter and with Loxus. Xeno will be dropped here, of course, the combo with Wind Fairy extra, but actually won't be able to play Loxus here. But we could see the Shamu and Shama combo. Another Xeno coming down. Yep, there you go. So Shamu and Shama coming through. Big boost, big Evo coming through as well. Nice 4 damage to face. 5 if you count the burn with Varmint Hunter. And once again, Naya's in big trouble. And by the looks of things here, Ed, with an abundance of cards picked up, this could potentially be game.
Yeah. And he also has a Loxis for next turn, but Loxis doesn't actually generate a lot of like amulets this turn, because the Saji will disappear at the start of the turn, and there's no amulets already on the board. So usually you need at least one amulet on the board before you can do like big Loxis combos. But then again, with I think the Shamu and Shama alone may be able to actually push the damage if he gets all the necessary cards. Or maybe even deep. Actually, I think even the deep wolf into Evo will actually be lethal. Yeah, he could actually play, and he will actually play like as it is vanilla for the 7 cost for the 7 cost form, and get the to win the game. But that is going to be assuming that the room player doesn't do anything to actually heal that up or put wards in his way. But it looks like with the world that he has in hand, that is going to be happening eventually anyway.
Yeah, so again, plenty of options here. Alistair will get the clear sign, does get dropped, trying to keep himself alive as much as possible, hoping that he hits the Varmint Hunter there. Might have to burn an Evo to clear out Ramiel to confirm that, and he will do so. He needs that 8 health back here to keep himself alive in this matchup. Spellboy's coming through. Won't really do too much else. Ulting tomorrow will be dropped. The third and final Carol being picked up here with the 8 health increase coming through. So Nia getting control of the board once more, but we've seen it so far. Laf is taking out the games 2-0 so far. He's nice and comfortable here so far as well, and the cards in hand. Time to see the combo coming through.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, I'm not very sure, but I think that the Forest player have popped up a bit too early. He should have tried to stop for the combo instead of like trying to split out across multiple turns. Because right now, as you can see, if the Rune player did manage to heal up, then your viability like dropped for the next few turns dropped drastically.
Yep.
So right now I'm thinking that he will play the Vagabond Lizard to actually get in more amulets that he will need for Luxis. Yep. So, but so he's trying to. Oh yeah, so he's trying to pop off this turn. Okay. So a deep wood on the amulet, on the steed probably.
Yep.
Oh no, he's actually just going to play. He's just play the Shama. Okay. Oh yeah, I see why he's doing that. So now when he accelerate, okay, I think that.
I'm pretty sure that's game there, right? So yeah,
correct. Okay, never mind. That 6 damage to the face, and he even has one more Shamu if he wants to. Although, yeah. So sorry. My Luxus Forest. I didn't play Luxus Forest, so I don't know how much combos that he can make. But it seems like that is actually more than enough.
You know a lot more than what I do, so I'll move up to you, man. If you can't figure it out, the left must be an absolute genius, man. He's on another plane or something, but there you go. Yeah. Left there, big 3-0 here for the first semi-final, taking on the Japanese representative in Naya. So Laf, one of our EN reps, will be going to the grand finals. We do have EN representation here, guys, coming into the grand finals. That's super exciting for us coming through to here, of course. But I'm sending for Naya there, going 3-0, making it this far. Of course, Naya himself did take out Dawnbreaker's own Cryzome, of course, a fan favorite throughout all of Shadowverse to make it here. But we are going to be getting ready for our second semi-final very shortly, guys. Mio, the Japanese representative, will be taking on Twilight Knight's own Styx here. Of course, Styx, a very big name throughout the Mana Surge Cup scene, of course, been a very big top player throughout it. And, Mio, obviously, definitely proved themselves quite a bit here as well, making it through the Rain qualifiers to make it here to the Mana Surge Rain Cross Cup finals, of course, sponsored by Select, by Sonic Boom Entertainment, and Ed on an amazing 3-0 we had here. I mean, and we're already seeing that. What can we expect coming through here for the second semi-final?
Yeah, so TK Styx and Mio will be the next game, and TK Styx has been like as you mentioned, a very prominent figure in our Mana Surge Cups and the other tournaments as well. He's also been quite frequently in the top 8 for the SEAO SVO. Yeah. So I'm also expecting great things from TK Styx. Hopefully he will also be live and give us a 3-0, and then we will have ourselves all Western SVO Mana Surge Rain Cup finals.
Yeah. All Mana Surge qualifiers, all making it.
Yeah, all Mana Surge qualifiers. Yes, sorry.
But yeah, of course, again, if you are just joining us here, of course, our stream did start a little bit quickly coming through. So if you are just joining us here, of course, we just had our first semi-final here for a rotation, best of 5 single elim. Of course, 3 deck, 0 band, so no band format. I mean, I know we talked about some of the other casters, Ed, for our recent qualifiers where there was 2 deck 0 band and how different that is. How much can 3 deck 0 band change it? Because again, this is a little bit closer to what we're expecting, but now there's no band coming through here. So how do you think this might, I guess, affect the deck representation? Of course, already seeing the likes of Control Rune, Loxus Forest, and Vehicle Dragon.
Okay, so with more decks that you have to bring, you definitely have to be more proficient in more decks, and that is also a possibility that there may be people that decides to really take one to actually they will have more liability, so to speak. right?
Mm.
Cause you will have to win with more things than you would previously. So most of the time the 3-0 ban is going to be a harder and tournament environment than 2-0 ban, and yeah, if it is also is going to be harder in than two decks the 3-1 ban format, because you don't because you will have to win with three decks instead of like 2 decks. So it's definitely going to be harder. There's definitely going to be a decision fatigue happening to the players as well. So it is definitely going to be a much harder it's going to be a much harder format than compared to everything that our competitors have been used to.
And we saw that as well in our qualifiers, right? With the 2-0 ban, so many top players. I mean, we talked about it before during, I know, week 1 qualifiers, especially the amount of player and team representation. I believe we had over 120 over 130 signups for that one event alone. It was one of our most diverse events, one of our most silenced events we've had throughout even all of the 2020 season, let alone the beginning of the 2021 season. And we saw how difficult it was for a lot of these players to qualify. And you know, as you mentioned, Ed, now it's 2-0 ban. The difficulty is going to be coming through. I'm especially curious to see how the players will go along now, of course, because it's 3 decks. It's a best of 5 format because of that. And having that extra game you have to win, the pressure that can be there as well, playing in an environment such as this. And even the fatigue coming through here as well, especially as we move further and further throughout the night going into the grand finals. And ladies and gentlemen, we are still getting ready for our second semi-final match. We're going to get to that very, very soon. And you know, we are going to look at some of our brackets coming through here as well for you guys. The top 8 bracket coming through. I know a lot of guys, you guys in Twitch chat were asking to see that here as well. So we'll go through that here with you guys. Of course, our representatives, of course, from the MSxREIGN side, we had Dawnbreakers, Cryzome, Twilight Night Sticks, who are about to see play in our next semi-final. Lolicon, and of course, a grand finalist now, Laugh being represented on the MSxREIGN side. And of course, from the Reign qualifiers, the Japanese side, we had Jin, Mio, Yakiniku, and of course, we just saw Nia playing as well, who had also made it into the top 8 for the finals, and the brackets are here coming up. We saw Laugh take out Jin, who made it, of course, to the semi-finals 3-1 against Jin there. Nia, of course, that we talked about just before, took out Dawnbreaker's own Cryzome 3-1, and we talked about, you know, a bit upsetting to see Cryzome not make it through there, but I mean, he put on a spectacular show through the qualifiers, made it to the grand finals of both, so a bit upsetting he couldn't make it further than that, but still great effort from him there. Our third quarterfinal was Mio taking down Lolicon 3-1, with our final one being TK Sticks taking down Yakiniku 3-2 in the closest quarterfinal matchup we've seen here so far. And as we mentioned as well, the next semi-final will be Mio taking on Twilight Night Sticks, 2 very great, awesome competitors coming through, very strong competitors coming through here on both sides. We are getting the next matchup coming up here now, guys, as well. And you'll hear on the English stream, of course, the MSxREIGN side of stream. There's also a Japanese stream happening, of course, as well over on the Reign side with all the action there being covered by Hana, Aqua, and Inoki. So, of course, go give those guys some love. Check those guys out. Maybe have both streams up at once if you can understand both as well. Get insights from both of us here coming through. But we are getting ready, as we mentioned, for that second semi-final. We are now actually just gearing up now, getting ready to join in to the matches here at the moment. And as we mentioned before, with it being 3-0 ban, not having the bans available, these guys are going to be getting their decks ready right now. I think everyone is in lobby almost ready to go. I talked a whole bunch there. Go through it.
Well, we do have information on what they are bringing to a certain extent. So the Mio has been bringing Forest, Haven, as well as Runecraft, and TK Sticks has been bringing Forest, Runecraft, and a Shadow. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of decks they are. Forest will probably be Luxus Forest, because that has been on the rise lately. Rune could go either the Spell Boost Rune or the Control Runes that we've been seeing previously. As for Haven, I think it will probably be Sanctuary Haven, because West Wind Haven, Rally Haven, they've kind of like fallen onto the wayside. But Shadow is going to be interesting, because right now there's actually been a recent development in Shadow. Previously, there were more rally decks that were focused on trying to get the Pharon out as soon as possible, and then win with Necro Impulse. But recently there has been like a recent trend towards people bringing like Deathbringers, Fatal Order, Path of Perdition, and trying to win through a more controlling setup. So I'm curious to see what TK Sticks decide to bring for the Shadow.
Yeah, we can see this class is being lined up here. Forest, Haven, Rune, the side of Mio, Shadow, Forest, Rune, as you mentioned there, Ed, for sticks here as well. Quite a lot of deck coverage comes through both. Some we can expect, right? Obviously, you said Forest, we can expect that, but Rune, obviously, Control Rune. There's also that Spell Boost Rune, which I'm actually expecting to see that here, maybe in this one even, because we saw it a lot in the qualifiers. We saw that one, of course, when the big patch update came through. So excited to see that one as well. You mentioned Ed as well, wanting to see Shadow. I'm keen to see that too, because we haven't seen that here so far, and I'm actually surprised to see as well. Both guys, none of them are bringing Dragon, which I believe is one of our most represented decks throughout the whole qualifiers.
Yeah, because I think that there has been a rise with more control lineups, as you can see with the control rune that you've been seeing for the last two games. Then as we mentioned, there's the shadow that's been using Deathbringer. That's also more of a controlling deck. So maybe that is why they decided to be a more conservative and not bring a dragon and opt for something else instead.
And again, you're saying about control coming through as well. I'm surprised we're not seeing Voltio Blood. I'm just going to say it right now. I know we've seen that kind of thing. I know it sounds like a bit of a meme, right? But I know there's been a lot of representation coming through Cryzone Porter and the last qualifiers. Like a bit of a joke. But, you know, it was seeing some popularity. But do you think now that people have got more, I guess, understanding of Control Rune and decks like that, that's kind of just kicked Voltio out? It's like, nah, you had your fun for a week. You're gone now. See you later. Like.
Yeah, I think it's also the cases for decks like, I guess, Rally Haven as well, because Stick was actually the one that made it a bit popular when he won Operation Tokyo with the deck as well. And then after a few weeks, then it suddenly fell off by the wayside as well. So now we're jumping into the next game. It's going to be Haven versus Rune. So we're expecting to be Sanctuary versus maybe Control Rune. Yep, it looks like it's going to be a Control Rune, and for the Haven side, it looks like it's a Sanctuary Haven. It looks like Sanctuary Haven is being played based on the cards that is in the mulligan.
Yep, so this match is going to go underway, guys. As Ed just mentioned, they're going to be a very exciting matchup here. Mio taking on TK Sticks here for the second semifinals of the MSxREIGN Cross Cup Finals here, of course, sponsored by Select, by Sonic Boom Entertainment. We are watching from Mio's viewpoint here as we go into our second semi-final set. Of course, Laff is in the wings, waiting to see what happens here. Going to be watching intently to see who will be taking on here in the grand finals. Again, best of 5, 3-deck, 0-ban. Exciting matchups, so guys, stick around. Of course, it's going to be an amazing matchup here for semifinals and grand finals. So I hope you got a lot of snacks and drinks ready. We're going to be here for a bit of time here so far. But I mean, Laff already did the 3-0. Could expect to see that again later on. We'll have to wait and see now. As you know, as you mentioned, Ed, we are jumping into our first matchup here. And seeing a Carol once again picked up on the other side, but no Madcap this time.
Yeah. And in the Haven side as well, we see that there's 2 Archangel of Evocation. So one interesting thing to know is that the Haven player didn't throw away the Archangel of Evocation, because in this matchup, you really don't want your max HP to go down that much. And the Archangel of Evocation is the only card that actually increases your max life total at this point in the game. So over at the Rune player side, looks like they're passing turns. I expect there will be a lot of like turn passes during this time, perhaps until turn 4 when the Haven player drops a Holy Sanctuary. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So the Haven player will probably drop a Holy Sanctuary this turn. I don't think they will drop a Unicorn Altar specifically. They'll probably drop a Holy Sanctuary. Yep.
Yeah, pretty straightforward turn 4, right?
Yeah, pretty straightforward turn 4. So now with the Rune player side, there's always the Ramiel Evolve that the Rune player can do to try to get early Carols up, and they already have 2 Carols. They just need the third one.
Going to see that Carol Festival hopefully very, very soon, of course. That we said about easy turn 4 for Holy Saint. Easy turn 4 here, most likely as well. The Cocytus Ramiel combo here. We've seen quite a bit recently. Of course, it's a matter of if he wants to take that burn, decides not to. Stick's just evolving out the Ramiel, holding on to Cocytus for now. I know some of the casters last week with the qualifiers wouldn't be too happy about that one. They wanted to see the double combo come through, but Sticks playing a little bit safer here, just having a nice 4/4 board that can't be affected by spell damage. Going to be very big to deal with here, of course, with Haven. But I mean, I'm seeing Blind Justice's hand right now. That's an easy banish waiting to happen.
Yeah, Blind Justice is a possibility, but yeah, actually, I did expect the Archangel of Evocation, which he did play because he wants to get his, he wants to increase his max HP as much as possible before Carol comes down. And then he already has 2 Yukaris in hand. That will be very helpful in actually staving off the last bit of damage that Carol's Union Burst will actually do to the So I think the Humans player might be slightly ahead at this moment, but we'll have to wait and see.
Because again, this is one of those games that we might expect to settle in for, right? The nature of Haven, right? We'll have to wait and see. Of course, we do see, Carol can be the bane in that. Of course, having to take out permanent health. Of course, Archangel coming down is going to help with that. Of course, to stave off some of the Carol antics coming through here. Of course, only going to get him down to 10 instead of 5 now. So that'll be big. But of course, you've still got the Union Burst effects from Carol that can easily can easily deal with that, I want to say, coming through. And right now, he's kind of hovering suggestions right now. I mean, we could see a Carol drop coming through here. Wouldn't be too surprised to see it. It will be the Carol coming through right now. But I mean, I'm seeing a second Archangel as well in hand that can easily fix that problem up straight away.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and looks like he also hasn't had his last Carol in hand. The on Wings of Tomorrow could have actually helped with that because Wings of Tomorrow only draw followers, so that would actually increase the chances of drawing Carol. But it seems he didn't play that the last turn. He's trying to play the Carol to try to get the max HP down as soon as possible. So right now the turn here, will it be another Archangel turn to increase the HP again? Or will it be something else? The Comfort Folk Unicorn? Because right now actually the ping isn't really as useful because they only do 3 damage and he won't really be able to kill Carol with it. So not so sure what he's aiming for. So he's trying to go to play the Feather Folk first, trying to delay the Archangel. Maybe giving the opponent a bit of a false hope at the moment.
Mind games. Perfect for this type of game. That's what we're talking about before, Ed. Like where, again, because it's an extended series, it is a best of 5. Players do have to think about things like fatigue and mind games, psyching out the opponent and that sort of thing. It's not always about the cards that are literally being played, right? So we have to at the time. So we have to wait and see what happens here, of course. There is another Carol there. I don't believe that'll be played just yet. But I mean, there's not really too many other options. Authoring Tomorrow could be played, I guess, to maybe look for that extra draw power. Fiola is in hand, ready to go. But by Z, again, another big irritating combo that Control Rune can drop down. And always Allison, On Wings of Tomorrow. Of course, Allison's not going to do too much here, so I wouldn't expect to see that. On Wings of Tomorrow could be, again, looking for that draw. But a couple of options here. Just a lot of them seem a bit out of place at the moment, which is a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, Alistair may be played if he wants to play on Wings of Tomorrow because if he plays on Wings of Tomorrow now, he will only be drawing 1 card because there's not enough cards. And I'm not really sure how useful Alistair will be in the long run in this matchup, especially considering that he's still at 20 HP. The Haven player might not even really bother to push him down that much at the moment. So depending on what he decides to do here. Okay. He may go for the Heretical Hellbeast, maybe? Okay, he didn't. Okay. He just passed. I don't think that's actually a good move. Actually, I think you will try to decrease the amount of hand size that you have, so you could draw like things like Carol and all that. But we'll see. We'll see if it pays out.
I mean, he could have just played one Alistair, right? Like, I mean, as you mentioned, don't know how important he'll be. You've still got another one in hand, so you could have just burned one out to make sure you get that draw. Because we can guarantee that, Ed, right? It's going to be a Carol. Like, he's going to lose a Carol now because of his full edits. It's what always happens right now. Mio's going to look to see what he can do here now. 3-5, Calm Featherfolk, just ready to go here at the moment. It kind of throws him off a little bit as well because, I mean, there's no real reason to combo with Helly's Sanctuary at the moment. Don't want to burn any healing cards. I mean, this could be the opportunity to play that second Archangel, get yourself to 25 once again. I mean, it's the only real play I can see here that makes the most sense out of, I guess, burning EO just to get a bit of burn damage in. Seems like a bit of a waste, but at the moment, it's kind of just Archangel EO will pass.
Yeah, I think Archangel Bevo Pass might be the best option right now because like there's no way he can get 3 kills this turn either. So it's not like it's not like using EO is gonna really benefit him.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
maybe he might, who knows? Maybe he might decide to save it so that he can do, so that if he draws a set next turn, he can do Archangel EO and set to actually get the third effect of the heal up. Because I don't think if he plays the Archangel this turn, he will be able to get it next turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so he decides to pass now. No point. Yeah, there we go. The carrot is burned. What did we say?
Yeah. It's the power of the casters. That's what we do. You know, we want something to happen. It happens sometimes. It's actually not true. We need to test that theory in science later on. But it's working for now, and that's good for us. But yeah, Carol does get burned out. Very big loss coming through here. I also believe, Mio as well. Just deciding to skip. Doesn't even attack with Featherfloat, which I'm a little bit surprised about. But I mean, maybe avoiding the Alistair, as we mentioned. That's a bit of a big gamble to try and avoid that one for now, especially when, I mean, you've got plenty of other good cards in hand to replace Featherfloat at any time, but decides to hold on for now. And once again, Styx is like, okay, I burned a Carol. I have the exact same hand. And I'm dealing with the exact same board. I need to play something now. I don't really have much of a choice.
Yeah, and now he's playing the Alistair to try and get rid of cards. But yeah.
Okay, so Pot of Greed that summons Meowscus has been drawn now. Good old Major Prayers being picked up here. And I mean, again, could be a nice big card to have dropped in, getting the extra 2. Meowscus getting a little bit more ping damage if he wants to chuck that one out. But again, kind of a similar situation. I mean, it's just a 0-1 on board. Of course, Spell Boost is there, but not really something to worry about too much that Mio has to deal with here at the moment. And we're just having no, you go. No, you go. No, you go. No, you go. A situation here at the moment between the two players. And again, it's a matter of, does he play Archangel? Does he play Major Prayers and see what he can pull? Does he play an even stronger EO now and burn it? Or does he pass as well?
I would, if it were me, I think I would just go a bit more aggressive for now.
Yeah.
Cause like I don't think like you can like just hold on into this like standoff forever. You're just giving the other person a bit more chances to get resources. Yeah.
Well,
and actually in the last turn I would have actually attacked with the Featherfolk also. Cause I think even if the Alistair is played this turn and to kill off the Featherfolk, I don't think you really mind that much because right now, in this version of Sanctuary Haven, compared to the one last expansion, bot space is the main problem. So and that is why it's kind of like frowned upon, I think, to play 2 Holy Sanctuaries out, because sometimes those bot space that you lose will cost you the game.
I know a lot of players can be hasty with that, right? It's always a decision of one sank or double sank. And it always seems they need one or the other, and sometimes it bites them in the ass in the end, right? But does end up playing another Featherfolk to get the burn in. It turns past.
Okay, now that's it. Now that's interesting. He's trying to not play anything because I'm guessing that he also doesn't want the world to be invoked from the Haven player side. And of course, I can see the fact that he cannot play Ra now is actually going to hurt the Haven a lot. So. I think right now what he's doing is that he's trying to incentivize the room player to play a card, even if it's the world, or especially if it's the world. Oh, but then even if he plays the world, the Unicorn Altar will actually make short work of the world. So okay, but now that he actually played the Fluffy Angel, perhaps there will be actually something on board for like for the world to actually trade into if he decides to play the world now. But if he decides to pass, then the world will have nothing to trade into. The countdown won't start yet. But again, I'm not very sure whether that is a good or a bad thing.
I mean, All Things Tomorrow dropped another world picked up here. That's 2 that have come out for Styx. Another world will come through here anyway for the Haven player, for Mio coming through as the Amulet does get burnt out. Of course, Union Amulet being banned means world can't attack into anything, as you mentioned, Ed. So now kind of stuck here. But I mean, at this point, we could just have another 8 damage going into face. I don't think Mio's really caring about that 4 burn too much at the moment when he could just run all this damage in the face anyway, right?
Yeah, but 8 damage. I'm not really sure whether I would actually evolve here. Like I don't see that there's too much of a bad thing to just evolve and go face. But yeah, let's see what happens. Oh,
Maybe delaying an extra turn just in case.
Yeah, I think he's trying to leave him at 10 HP also to play around Alistair. I'm not so sure whether that's a wise play, but we'll see.
So again, holding on to Meowscarada is debating if he wants to run that one in. I mean, at this point, yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, there's still that Carol. Of course, he doesn't know this, but of course, Styx does have Carol available with Union Burst ready to go, Double World, Cocytus, and On Wings of Tomorrow. So a lot of burn. You know, some of it may be a bit random, but it's still there to go. World could be dropped to clear the next one anyway. It's his own world will finally come out, burn damage ready, but does he really want to be using it when he's 2 burn effects away from losing off of his own world? I have to wait and see what his play is going to come through here, because now he's kind of dug his own grave a little bit, right? Because he's stalled out so much, but now he's got hardly any HP. He can't really run his world into anything, and he can't really deal with the board as much as he wanted to, right? Because he can kind of just be replaced with Ra and stuff later.
Okay, so maybe he might actually play the Cocytus here to and try to get Scion to try to heal up. Sure. I don't actually think that will be enough to kill. Oh wait, never mind.
All 3 tomorrow. I completely forgot about all 3 tomorrow. Okay. Here we are. Oh yeah, he's dug his own grave. You know, there's no way he can win straight away. Yeah. It's Styx. We should have known better, right?
Yeah, correct.
Well, there you go. Styx taking out the person here. There you go, Twitch chat. You've got open invitation to clown on us now. There you go. But Styx will take out the first game there. 1-0 against Mio. I mean, Styx clearly paying attention, of course, making sure, I guess, you know, to kind of board lock Mio a bit. Doesn't give the option of Ra, as you mentioned, Ed, as well. Not having that Ra available was super important. Can't even drop Yukari as well. Yeah. So can't even be prepared for that one. So it's going to run away, steal away a win with that one there. Quite, you know, good old Quiet Night Styx. You know, watching you, we should know that you win so many MS Cups with this sort of thing coming through. But here you go for game number 2 now. Mio Styx here, of course, from the viewpoint of Mio. Mio again is going to go with the Sanctuary Haven. Styx now running with the Loxus Forest, and we should believe it to be the Loxus Forest. Looks like it might be here so far. And time to see if Mio can even it up, or Styx will run away and take it to match point.
Yeah, so host goes first. So the first player is Haven. So this looks like a hand that I might actually consider doing a full keep for. Just play Unicorn Altar on 1, then pass turn 2, play Lorena on 3, get the Holy Water, and play Holy Sanctuary on 4, and then from there we can do a lot of combos on turn 5. Probably get a 3 proc from the Holy Sanctuary. Yeah. So yep, it looks like it might be the Loxus Forest, considering he also plays the Ramil. So it looks like there'll be a turn for Ramil evolve, and trying to get more play points for better Loxus combos.
I mean, so far I believe, except for one game, maybe we've had that Ramil evolve every game. Just about almost as well. So Ramil definitely getting a lot of play coming through right now. Water being picked up though. Is this actually Accelerate for us, or is this just a sneaky Water tech then?
I think it's actually Loxus Forest, because he just dropped Loxus anyway. So I don't. Yeah. The Loxus Forest might have played a few of the Accelerate cards as well. As well, but I don't think this is the case. I think it's going full on Loxus. So right now, from the Haven side, we are seeing whether he wants to play a second Unicorn Altar or a Lorena. There's also so this is one of the hardest part about playing the Haven matchup, because as I mentioned before, bot space is a thing. So if you the Unicorn Altars may end up being a bit of a liability later into the game. So maybe you might want to play them early so that you don't have to worry about them late game. And that's what he does.
Yeah. And that's the
Okay.
thing as well. It's we can't see the decks as well, right? At the moment, we can't actually see what they are. So we're gonna be just as excited as you guys when we see certain cards come out of nowhere, right? That we're not expecting to see. So here we go now, setting up for turn 4. Of course, we know it's gonna be Ramiel turn. Next turn, Holy Saint, of course, being dropped again. It's the exact same turn 4 we saw last game, ladies and gentlemen. What a surprise! So
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, so,
Yeah,
as we said, Ramiel being dropped, the Evo coming through as well, get the extra play point. The question is, do we see another Ramiel dropped on top of this? Do we see a Giant Patches dropped, or do we see a pass?
Oh, he's thinking about the order.
Because, I mean, having the double Ramiel will be big to block Holy Sanctuary, right?
Yeah, that is so. I don't think the Giant Pastures will be played at all, cause like Giant Pastures is more useful in a lot more situations. They can be an accelerate for the they can be a 1 play point, get a steed, or they can play Giant Pastures to get more damage in from the AoE, and also get two amulets for like block assistance.
And yeah, I mean, that's what we were talking about, that, and we even talked about before that as well. The Sank Unicorn being blocked out by Ramiel. The double Ramiel eating up both of those. So huge coming through. I mean, Blind Justice being in hand can clear the 4/4 at least, but there's still going to be a 2/2. Still going to have Elf Queen to deal with here. And I mean, Lorena's a thing. You will be able to get her Evo going off there as well.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, no, you won't, because you won't have the heal, will you? So no, you won't be able to do that.
Lorena can get summon a tiger as well, cause there's already a heal one. There's already a heal from the
heal one, yeah.
Yeah. So she will be able to get a free Evo and a tiger, but I'm not really sure whether that's the best play. But we'll see.
But we'll have to wait and see. So he's going to drop to the Lorena. We're going to hold on to Blind Justice here and maybe hover the Holy Water.
Okay.
Like, he is still deciding. He is still
It
deciding.
may be the 2 play point unicorn. Make the full
could
use
be.
of a
It
play
could
point,
be.
right?
So the hover
wait,
is coming through. He's
Oh,
going to do the manual Evo.
Yeah, he's evolving without trying to get for a full play point. So maybe he sees like there's value in keeping those cards in hand at the moment.
Yep.
Okay, so potentially he might be playing Lorena Unicorn in the next turn. So that is exactly 6 play points and 3 procs. So that may be what he's going for, and that's why he didn't like use the Holy Water the previous turn.
I just want to say there as well, Ed, the quickest turn we've seen all night. Just an easy Giant Bashes there, clear and attack the face. And not a 10-hour turn. Nice to see. Of course, a lot of these control decks, guys who have to, of course, sit down, think about through every single situation they can and try and figure out the best. I mean, we saw it last game, how insane Styx had. I just look at the Twitch chat right now, and the whole Twitch chat going absolutely insane over that matchup that came through. So it's good to see that the lads are definitely enjoying it just as much as us, Ed, coming through. But of course, now it's up to Mio to basically figure out what to do, what to go from here, because got to be aware that Ramiel could eat up some of that burn damage.
Yeah. I think that right now the play that he has made last turn is really the best, but it seems like he's going for Blind Justice and probably Unicorn. And will he play the second one? Oh, he doesn't even play the Unicorn. That's interesting. I'm not so sure that was a wise play, but we'll see. I think there may be litter from the forest side, but yeah. I haven't exactly done the math yet, but I wouldn't be too surprised if there was actually litter from the Haven side.
Let's have a look. So that's 2. What's that? 3. What's that? So that's 5. That's 6. So what? He's got 8 so far. If you just count, if you just count Ramiel, you count Sakuna with the amulets, but decides to use it on Loxus. So again, we'll just respawn the same ones anyway. There's Sakuna to get the extra damage. Of course, the amulets being eaten up.
And there'll be a Water.
Water, yeah. So hang on. So that's
going to be
9, 11, 13. Yeah, that's it. It's an Evo. That's lethal. Exactly 15. Sticks, man. We say this in every cast. We say this in every MSxREIGN Cup cast. We said it in the qualifiers when he rolled up as well. This main. We said at the start as well. And we said it's absolutely insane. Some of the plays this guy can come up with, and just some of the decks, the way he plays around all his cards, he seems to be on the game every single time. He's 2-0 now, coming into the semi-final twos against Mio here, and we might have actually cast the curses. We might see double EN representation in the grand finals.
Yeah. maybe there'll be a 3-0 trio, and then this will be and then we can end this earlier.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see, because I mean, as you mentioned, Sticks is doing absolutely insane, but Laugh as well. Kind of, I don't believe we've seen him anywhere else, unless of course it's a player playing under a different name. But he's kind of came under the radar out of nowhere in the last qualifiers, and has definitely shown up and taken it to everyone he's gone against. So could be a similar situation here. We have to wait and see. He's on our third game here right now. Sticks just having the shadow left here. We do see Mio swapping over to his own Loxus Forest here, and we're going to get a chance now as well to see the exact shadow deck that's being played here.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a Loxus Forest, and based on the cards that I see that Sticks mulligan away, I'm more inclined to think that it's the standard rally Shadow. But I do know that some of the little Deathbringer shadows that they actually do bring a Necro Impulse as well. But I think Necro Impulse is more of a rally card, so I would say that there's a higher possibility that it is still a rally shadow. I'm not so sure, but I think the EO might also be another indicator. I'm not really sure about the configuration for the Deathbringer shadows nowadays, but I think the Deathbringer shadows may not bring Shuten, so maybe they might not bring EO. So I think this will probably be rally shadow.
Yeah. And I just want to say as well, I mean, I'm super excited to see Rally Shadow, because I don't believe I've actually seen the deck myself before. So I'm keen to see what this deck does here, especially in the likes of Loxus Forest that I've seen time and time and again be one of these super consistent decks, one of these super strong decks for quite a number of months now, even through the changes with our recent expansions, ever since having Loxus as well. So keen to see how this one will come into effect here. We mentioned as well, TK6 on match point here, the series point as well, to make it to the grand finals, a potential EN versus EN matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, here Mio, the last soul surviving survivor of the side from the Reign qualifications, but got all of Japan on his back right now. No pressure, trying to bring this one through here. Ramio will be the first card that he played in this first matchup here. Seen her every single game and every single deck, such a key staple card in basically every deck in the game right now. Super important. The 2/2 ward protects all spell effect damage, but seeing that Bane come up, definitely a little bit scary. They're probably one of the only things Rabio is actually scared of.
Yeah, and you were mentioning before that you were seeing like a Ramio Evolve for pretty much all the games, right? I think this might be the first game where a Ramio Evolve won't be a thing, because Rally Shadow doesn't run Ramio.
I mean, you never know. We can see that top deck. We've seen it time and time and again.
Yeah,
right?
perhaps it might be a hidden tech that we didn't envision.
I mean, one turn. I mean, I was gonna say one turn to the Miltier, but it doesn't really change much of that. You're gonna get it on 5 anyway. So, saving slash being hovered will clear Vegamon as he tries to search out. Gonna take out one of the Miltios. Chuck that in the graveyard pile there for now.
Okay, so he's training that, and okay, so for the next turn, there's a Bonanza that he's playing. So there are some decks that and there are some like Rally Shadow decks that actually play Bonanza as well, cause like the normal Rally Shadow does run a lot of like Budorai cards like Undead Parade as well as Sabering Slash that we just saw earlier. So that is a card that actually helps to accumulate more shadows, but that is also a key card in the Deathbringer Shadow as well. So yeah, with the introduction of the Bonanza, it is still quite hard for us to actually tell like which of the deck it is. Although I am still leaning towards a potential Rally Shadow build. Yeah.
So again, still watching to see what will happen here. Kokoro being dropped, trying to draw out as much as possible. Of course, Mio already has Loxus in hand, ready to go. We could see a potential Varmint Hunt to Loxus turn 7 game coming through. We saw that already in our first semi-final, how dangerous it is the opposing player coming through for now, and kind of expecting Mio to potentially pass his turn here. I mean, the option for a Duval Steed is there, Deep Wolf, to add Coco back to hand, use her draw a little bit later on. Another great thing to see here, Xeno could be dropped to get the extra draw, but without the bounce, it's very dangerous to just kind of use up instantly. We'll drop it though, looking for that extra draw, really needs it right now, and now it goes to the side of TK Sticks. He's got plenty of good cards in hand, but I don't really believe he's going to drop too much. Psycho Pump could be dropped here to get the extra 2 card draw.
If he wants to drop a Psycho Pump, he will probably drop another follower along with it to actually get more cards. But looks like he's just going to play the Secretariat, Sarcophagus on 4. Yeah.
Although I say Psycho Pump, but because we're Mana Search Ed, are we actually contractually obligated to call a Toa though, or do we just say Psycho Pump? I don't know. Bjorn, let us know back in production. Let us know what we have to do for that one, because
obviously
I know
Toa.
Yeah, okay, obviously Toa. All right, okay, we got confirmation. We have to call it Toa, otherwise we lose our jobs, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go. We have to call it Toa for that one. Turn 5 come through now for Mio. Again, still trying to get the search up. Loxus is available, but as we mentioned, probably waiting for that turn 7 play. And I think he's a little bit stuck here. I mean, could drop Elf Queen, could drop Cockroach for the extra draw. I mean, Elf Queen's a great ward to drop for now, but can be answered pretty quickly with that Savoring Slash.
But if Elf Queen does evolve, it will actually go over it will actually go to 5 HP, which is 7 cash answer. But that is if he decides to evolve. But evolving now actually feels like it's taking too much resources to deal with a 1/2, so I don't think he actually will. So maybe he might just play it just to draw cards and try to get other pieces, though I'm not really sure what other pieces he needs. There is also a possibility he might just drop a Dutiful Steed, because the thing is that it actually opens up like a possibility of playing Lock System if he wants to. Yeah. But the way he does this, I think is turn 6 is going to be Giant Pastures, and then turn 7 is where he will try to pop off.
Yeah, and we saw that combo in the last semi-finals. Definitely expected to see it here with the Giant Pastures, because Giant Pastures really strong, especially after the buffs he received, of course, quite a few months back now. But great to see him in play here. Because of that, Sticks now looking for the Miltio combo here. See who's getting rid of. I believe he's getting rid of Shootin' Doji. I didn't see the second card he's getting rid of. So Shootin'.
He's the Bonanza.
Yeah, so he's going to get both of them back straight away. What a roll. Absolutely perfect. Still gets to shoot Doji out and gets all 3 on board for his troubles. Sticks is going absolutely ham right now. Nice board set up, a 2 draw, of course. If Miltio goes down, the big leader effect for shooting Doji coming through here as well. And yep, there's Giant Pastures coming through for Mio's side as well. Getting the amulets down, getting the 2 burn in, and trying to clear as much as he can.
Yeah, so will he evolve and kill one of the followers, either the Shooten or the Miltio? But he may also be considering that he might not want to give the Shadow player too much draws. And right now, killing them won't actually get him to the Grammary range yet, so that might be an option. Yeah, so he's evolving the Kokoro to kill off one of them. Which one? Oh, he's going face instead.
Oh, he went face.
Okay, so that's thing. So let's see, 2 6 plus 7 plus 2 6 plus 7. Okay, so that's not going to be enough for Lito. He's still at 20 HP. So I'm guessing Sarcophagus for the heals. Yep.
It's a big Evo there. Going to run that one into Pastures to get the double off, but maybe shooting Doji actually, because we'll still get that off. A bigger follower on board gets rid of Giant Pastures as well, and because Lich Zombie there's the Grammary, there's the EO as well. I also love the instant evolve onto Zombie to clear out Cockroach. Going to push another 7 damage to face here.
Yep. So now it's the question of whether the Forest player can actually. Well, even if the Forest player doesn't win this turn, I think the Forest player definitely will be able to stabilize.
Yep.
Yeah. So right now it's just a matter of how he's going to actually do it. Promin Hunter after that.
He's debating on if he wants to run Loxus in, get rid of Sarcophagus for now. Of course, still has Hunter that he can play down, the Evo as well to get the extra play points back. So Hunter will drop down.
Yeah.
Looking for the burn onto Zombie or Miltio maybe? Oh, there we go. Oh, actually hits both. Nice, nice. Great RNG coming through there. Hunter will be evolved to extra 2 play points. We do see Styx pick up an IMT as well as, you know, the Wind God, Ferian, who I haven't actually seen her be using decks for quite some time. Sakuna being dropped there. Gonna end up having 8 damage to face there. Huge amount of damage, huge boards coming through here. Mio's still gonna take this one back and actually take Japan's first semi-final win here. Potentially look to make it 2-1. Try and bring the Japanese dream back alive here. But Styx, of course, looking to shut that one down as soon as possible. Gremory, it could be dropped here at the moment if that could go forward.
Yeah.
IMT looking to be played as well.
Yeah, if he does decide to drop it, probably Gremory into Necro Impulse into the IMT, but that will just be to stabilize here, probably.
Yeah.
He may have to give up his win con, cause and the moment he did that, he actually loses quite a lot of his shadow as well. So that's something that's going to be very unfortunate. So we'll see what he's going to do here to actually try to. Okay, Necro Impulse here. All right.
Yeah, so he can clear Loxus.
Yeah.
Okay, playing it like this as well, you know, of course, having Gremory gets those play points back. Yeah, I was expecting the IMT. I was waiting for it to come out. And it's basically guaranteed at this point, right?
Yeah,
so,
IMT is guaranteed at this point. Then the 2 ghosts will go face for 2 damage. So that is going to be so that means that EO will be little distant. Oh yeah, that's 2 more damage from the IMT effect as well. So EO will be able to kill him off next turn. So it's a question of whether the forest is able to actually kill this bot this turn.
So because you gotta be careful of the IMT, right, Ed? Because when IMT dies, so it takes something with it as well. So he has to be extra careful about that one.
Yeah, correct. And there's also no evolve points for any like like for any rush shenanigans to create something else. And
I mean, one of the only players I can see.
Giant Pastures will only do 3 damage maximum. Wait, 3 damage maximum at this turn. So that's not enough to deal 5. So just trying to see like what other possibilities there are, but
I mean, my monkey brain, right? The only thing I can see right now is maybe dropping Xeno to get that defense to 1 and maybe run 2 Walders in because they still have Storm naturally. It'll clear the board, but it doesn't really leave him much with anything up left, and he doesn't really heal. He doesn't have wards up or anything like that. But
yeah.
I mean, that's all I can see. Maybe there's a better player. I expect you, Ed. You do a lot better plays than I can, but I have to wait and see. We do see Giant Flashes come down. And this will still clear IMT, though.
This will still clear IMT, but it's not enough to actually do much else.
Yeah, so Mio will look for that draw next turn. 4 left in hand. Still has a Loxus available. Styx picking up Undead Parade.
And EO will end the game because he has shooting effect, right? Yep, he has shooting effect. EO will end the game.
Styx has done it. We said it was going to happen. The cards are coming through.
Is this the caster's curse or the caster's blessing?
It's the caster's blessing. Obviously, we're on the EN side. This is the caster's blessing coming through, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. TK Styx, Twilight Knight Styx 3-0 there in the second semi-finals, taking out Mio, the last Japanese representative, for the MSxREIGN Cross Cup finals here. It's going to be a double English representation, double MSxREIGN qualifiers representation here, guys. I mean, I'm very happy to see that, seeing our side coming through on top there, and we're guaranteed to have an English 1-2 finish here. Of course, very unfortunate for the Reign guys. They obviously put a lot of effort to their qualifying side, pushing through as hard as they could to get here. But EN greater than Japan, is that how that works now, Ed? I think we can say that. I think we're actually legally, we can say that now.
Yeah, maybe.
Because all jokes aside, it's been an amazing double semi-final series. They've been honestly, pretty close throughout the night here as well, even with them being 3-0s back to back. But it's going to be Laf taking on TK Sticks. Arguably, from what I've seen, even potentially the two strongest players that we've had here for the final series. Of course, not being able to see the quarterfinals being played, but I mean, this is going to be an amazing way, I think, to end the cup here on the grand finals. A final best of 5. Still 3 deck 0 ban, the usual format coming through, guys. And we've seen Sticks play, we've seen Laf play. Do you have a preference? Are you backing a particular player, or do you think we could even see a 3-2 potentially here?
Yeah, there might be a 3-2 because the both players that we've seen from the English side has been have been doing very well. So I don't think that I would think that it wouldn't necessarily lead to a blowout by one of the players. So I'm thinking it will be a much closer like match between these two players.
Yeah, and we've seen both of them just demolish the competition. Definitely know their decks inside and out. Again, we hype up Sticks so much, but he always proves it here. But Laff, we've talked about this before. We always have these up and coming players here coming to our MSxREIGN tournaments who always just storm the competition, always put on an amazing show, and end up in a way setting the precedent for even the rest of the SVO season. We see a lot of these guys end up making it top 32, top 16, top 8 even. And Laff could be another one of these big names and these big players coming through for that. But guys, we are going to have a very quick break coming through before we get ready for the grand finals. Ed and I have been at it for quite a while now doing these best of fives for you guys. The players need a bit of a break as well, but it's going to be an amazing best of 5 set here for the grand finals. The MSxREIGN Cross Cup here, of course, sponsored by Select by Sonic Beam Entertainment. We're going to be 5 minutes. We'll be back. Very short moment, guys. Don't go anywhere. We see you in a bit.
welcome back to the grand finals of this MSxREIGN Cross Cup. So it is Live versus TK Sticks, both players from the MSx qualifiers. So we'll see how they play this match. So right now Live is playing Right Dragon, and Sticks is playing his Rally Shadow. So let's see how this develops. So we can see from the mulligan that Sticks has quite the impressive starting hand here with Undead Parade, perhaps linking to a turn 2 Cycle Bomb. But as for Life, he is still contemplating what to do. He has the Fire Engineer for turn 1 engineer, but he doesn't really have a Reggie to follow up on turn 3 or anything. So we'll see what he decides to do when he decides his mulligan. Yeah, and so for Stakes, the Undead Parade into the Cycle Bomb Tour Guide play is a very strong play, because it not only gives them a total of like four rally points, but it also allows that lets them draw more cards, and more cards does allow him to invocate Gramarye much earlier. So as you can see, that is exactly what he did. A turn 1 Undead Parade, and going to follow up with a turn 2 Towa in order to draw more cards, as well as to get more of his rally points for a possible turn 5 or turn 6 Farron.
I like that you ended up correcting yourself and said Toa instead of Psycho Pump. Apologies, guys. Apologies there, but yeah, I'm back. I'm good to go. It seems the match has started here already, Ed, as well. Thank you for carrying me so far while this is happening. That break was a lot faster than I thought it was. I apologize for that one, but here we are now. I believe you probably already mentioned this Live versus TK Sticks here for the grand finals, best of 5 set. Ed, I'll hand it back to you now as you continue your analysis so far. But the amazing job so far. Cheers for carrying us.
Yeah, so then and he draws another Toa. So that means that at a Cycle Pump into another Toa is a play that Sticks can actually play as well, and that's going to help a lot in both the rally counts as well as the card draw, in order to invocate Gramarye earlier. We may even see a turn 5 or turn 6, but it looks like he decides to play EO instead to clear the board and forgo the drawing cards at the moment. So this actually helps the Shadow player stabilize well. And on the Dragon side, it looks like he managed to top deck the Reggie. So I think he's going to play it here. So and then it might as well like get the play points up, right? He needs the ramp as well. So he's trading it with the EO. So that will actually allow him to still have a threat on board. So now we'll see what Sticks decide to do here. Will it be Jack Shovel into Toa? Yep. Seems like the play. And I'm guessing that he will trade the Toa into the Reggie, because he doesn't want to give him any more chances to ramp with the card. Yeah, and for turn 5, looks like Life did draw the Colosseum on high. I don't think he'll play it, but let's see what his other options are. He could play on Wings of Tomorrow if he wants more draws, or he could play the Razia Evolve Wormfire to maximize the use of his play points. But we'll have to see what he does on this turn.
Exactly right. So Colosseum on high being there, not going to get the Invocate for that one here. Riser being played here, of course, a big card in the vehicle Dragon deck. Dragon Ring, I believe it's the first I've actually seen the spell been played tonight. So not seeing its use so far. Will be dropped here. A huge Riser. We brought bigger once again here. 6-7, 6-5 after the end of that one. That is one that Sticks is definitely going to have to watch out for. It's going to be a huge amount of damage being dropped on top of him when that one gets taken out. Saving Slash now being hovered. Potentially being used here to try and take it out anyway. He's going to have to deal with it one way or another eventually here.
Okay, Severing Slash though. Yeah, it's too bad that he actually used all his Toas in the early game, because like this will also be a very good prime opportunity for for a Jack Shovel evolve into Toba to do the most to make the maximum use of the play point. Using Severing Slash on the Razia that doesn't even die from the Severing Slash feels a bit wasted, but well, with the cards that he has, perhaps that's the best he can do. And I think that with the amount of cards that he have played, he will probably be invocating Faerun next turn as well.
Digger, Droid's going to get there from Gravedigger here again, back to the side of Leif, because the viewpoint of Leif here against TK Sticks here for the grand finals so far. Georges may be an option there. It's only going to do 2 to the 1 there, but could also use it to clear out the assembly droids if he feels it necessary. Adventure could be played here for Steed. Coliseum and High, of course, always a great option, but has to worry about, of course, Necro Impulse, any of those types of followers that can come through. But it feels a bit weird for Leif, right? Because most of the cards you can play into these 1-1 seem a bit rough. It's just going to invocate Coliseum on High instead and pass the turn. And with Faerun dropping, I think now he's going to have to think about using that George's Evolve effect, right?
Yeah, he will probably use George's next turn, but I think this is still like quite beneficial for the Shadow player. But by doing this, he actually blocks him, and the Shadow player not being able to like play any cards on turn 6 does mean that the Grammary game plan will have to be delayed.
Yep.
Yeah. So. And also Shadow haven't really used the shoot don't have a Shooten Doji effect online yet, so that will also minimize the amount of damage that he could that the Shadow player can push. Right now he has only a maximum of 10 damage that he can push with a Necro Impulse and a Evolves. So yeah, if the Shooten Doji effect has been online, I think he could have pushed 11 damage or maybe even 12. Yeah, but unfortunately that was not online yet. So in a way, in a way, this was a good play by Life to actually bot lock the Shadow player.
Yeah. And you see the clear coming through finally as well. And now Life's got the board advantage through the second Faerun coming through right now. But IMT being looked at, EO being looked at here, World, Miltio. There's plenty of great followers that can be dropped here at the moment. So, kind of bring Sticks back a little bit here, of course. Both on 11 HP. Has to worry about potential rogue dark prisons coming flying out. Reggie's coming flying out here that could be in the hand of Leif, of course, not knowing what he might have. And as we mentioned, of course, the only way these guys are really going to know the decks they're playing now is if they've been paying attention to the stream, right? If they've been watching and kind of writing down manually the cards, because the players can't see the decks. We can't see the decks being played here. So just has to be aware of potential cards, I guess, that we could run into, again, that they might not know about. So again, Sticks is taking his time. We've got plenty of time here left on the clock on the timer right now to make his move. Plenty of great options. World being hovered here at the moment, of course. Will take out the 8-6 George, get himself some nice health, some nice 2-card pickup here. Will be dropped out. There you go. We do see Gremory almost ready to go. One shadow away, one card away. Of course, we're even up next turn. We'll take out, of course, having Coliseum on high, giving World Rush. Taking out another follower on board. The Evo for Faerun coming through will take out the 3-2 here. We don't know if he has a third Wind God. That 6 of the third Wind God. We'll have to wait and see. He's willing to burn out his second one there anyway to regain board control. Now there's a nice 7-3 here on the side of Sticks that Leif has to deal with here. But there's a Hypersonic Dragon. I know, Ed, we talked about that quite a bit in that first series that Leif was running Hypersonic Dragon. A card that I guess can be teched in and out of these decks depending on what these guys want to run with. And probably a great answer here. We'll be able to clear World and get some more face damage in.
But the thing to take note is if he kills the World this turn, then the Grammary invokes for free. If he doesn't kill the World, then the Shadow player has to be the one to play the Grammary. But with 7 damage facing down, I think that it's not wise to actually take the risk and decide to let the Shadow player to invoke the Grammary himself, because he will potentially just ignore the fact that he cannot activate Grammary, use Necro Impulse on his hands twice, and he will be able to deal the 11 deal like more than enough damage to kill the dragon player. But now that the Gramarye will be invoked, he will also use there will also be like one spot taken. But I think with double necro impulse, I think double necro impulse is game for 12 damage.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the play here, right? Oh wait,
Yeah,
not even 12, 14 damage. Sorry.
Yeah, so it doesn't even care about the Grammar. It doesn't need that. Negro Impulse coming through, and TK Sticks just setting the stand here to start us off straight away. 1-0 against Lafayette will kick us off for the grand finals, of course, of the MSxREIGN Cross Cup finals here, ladies and gentlemen. Here, grand final time now. Sticks 1-0 up on Leif. Again, we're expecting Sticks to take this one out. He's done it time and time again in previous MSxREIGN Cups. A big representative in the SEAO, SVO scene as well. So it's up to Leif now to bring it here, of course, what we expect to be one of these new faces, up-and-coming players here, a dark horse, even if you want to call him that, coming in to try and steal this one away from Twilight Knight, steal this one away from TK Sticks. And with that Rally Shadow gone, it should be the expected decks that Leif can run into here is going to be the Control Rune, being picked up here by TK Sticks for his second game. We are seeing Vehicle Dragon once again picked up with Leif. We know he's very strong on all three of his decks. Of course, 3 owing the likes of Nia to get here in the grand finals in the first place. So here we go now, guys. Going to see how this one plays ahead. I'm definitely going to see some mulligans on the side of TK Sticks there. Definitely going to keep that hand, but kind of keen to see where this one will go. Kind of see to see these two guys battle out here with Vehicle Dragon against Control Rain.
Yeah. I'm not so sure what the mulligans is in this matchup, but for Dragon, I'm not exactly surprised that he's only keeping a Dragon Oracle. But for Control Rune, at least one Folia will go, but I'm not so sure if he'll kill 2. But he's only throwing like one of the Folia away. Yeah, and again he dropped back the Folio, so I'm not so sure if he plays 3. I think he plays 3, but that was unlucky. So it's like he only essentially draw a altering in that case, because the mulligan did nothing. Yeah. So right now I'm thinking that there will be a turn 2 pass. I don't necessarily think playing a altering here now is good, because you generally want to play altering on 3 so you can get to draw more cards. Yeah, and there's nothing on board to actually clear at the moment anyway.
Was that our first Dragon Oracle on to exactly Ed this whole night? I think it might have been. I think, I don't know. Yeah. That might be that big buff that Leif needed. We all know what happens when we see Dragon Oracle on 2, guys. It's guaranteed win for Dragon, right? That's how that works. So
yeah. So Leif also has the option to just play Curse Furor, so he will be on 6 play point Nixon. So I'm not so sure whether he's going to take that, or does he want to pressure with George's play? But he may want to consider keeping George's for like when he's in an overflow, or even better when he's on 10 play points, so he can actually push more damage with the card. So I'm thinking Furor is going to be the play here.
So sorry, we did know that Leif does run through the Georges, right? So I mean, he might look to expend it, although we have seen him be a very powerful card. Tonight, of course, he's always a powerful card in most Dragon decks we see, right? So it's a useful card to help clear boards, push that extra damage coming through, especially for face Dragon like this. But, as you mentioned, does he get the extra play point? Does he put the pressure down with Georges? He is going to get the extra play point. Looking for the 6 next turn, 1 off overflow already on the side of Sticks. I mean, that's looking like a full turn to me. Quite easy to play the full out here at the moment, get the countdown clock started. Of course, not having that turn to.
Well, there's also the play of Cosmitis to get Scion, because you cannot get and you cannot like just sacrifice 2 HP to get your Scion.
That's true. That's true.
When you're going first, right?
So I think we've seen quite a few times Control Rune. Every single Control Rune match we've seen so far has either straight up lost, or they've won most times out of 10 outside of the max health win rate. I was seeing a lot of. We're going to see a lot of burn coming through, a lot of altering tomorrow combos coming in. We've seen because the game's been going on for that long. I would just like to see one max health win. I want to see the Carol and the countdown clock completely ruin someone and get it that way, because it's so demoralizing for the enemy player. Can definitely get in the head of the other player, of course. These guys are the pros. That's why they're here, and I'm not, and that's why I'm casting. That's fine. But here we go now, coming onto turn 5 right now. Again, Coliseum getting invocated out there by Leif, holding on for now. We could see Full coming out with Discourage to start the countdown clock here. Ramiel is an option to play for now, but probably not burn that one just yet. I don't expect it. Could see it though.
I would say it's either the Linker and Scrooge, or there's another Cositor, so he might actually play that. So, cause like I mentioned before, you cannot like expect to get the 4 play points back by sacrificing 2 life in this when you're going first. So
yeah,
it's like every time you can afford to get the you can get the Cositors, you might as well just do it. Cause like Dragon deals a lot, and you will need to heal a lot in this matchup.
Although he's decided not to do that and just plays out the full anyway. 4-4 straight up, 3 player points left. Still has a couple of options you could go with here.
If he evolves the Linker, he can still play Cositus. But the question is that he will be down one evolve point. Is it really worth it at this stage?
Looks like he's going to play Scourge. It's just not a matter of time even. Let's make sure you can even get that in, of course. Evo animations and other card animations and so forth to cut out some of your time as well. So he's going to hold on for now. Still holds on to Kokitis. I mean, for now, he's still okay to use it. He's got plenty of time to use it. Still has one sign available, of course. With it being such an expensive spell card, just to get one follower is definitely a consideration that he needs to take into account for now. 7 play points down the side of Leaf. Overflow, of course, is available for now. Dragonic Call going to be used. Picks up the double Razier. Definitely expect to see her come out straight away. Could see the Dragonic Call, the Dragon Rearing be dropped onto her. Decides not to for now. Just gets the usual buff. Of course, off of the Clash, gaining the +1 for now. There's going to be 5 damage at least going into Daria, into Styx here, already taking him down to 3/4 of his HP. Holding on to the turn for now, though. Still make your calls. Already played throughout the turn, but obviously wants to use the rest of the turn to kind of think out what his next turn could be, go through potential cards that he has in hand, certain combos that could help set up, and even expect to see what Styx could be running into. He actually burns out an Evo here. Get the extra damage, get the extra HP. If anything gets run into it, that's 8 damage to face of one card alone. That is, in all intents and purposes, a ward, a protection card, not a straight up damage card. Which is quite funny to see with Razor, because you kind of feels both those roles, right? So, couldn't see that one down. Use up the rest of the turn. The first countdown will begin. 19 HP now for Leif. As we head to turn 6 for now. Styx now going to try and answer the call here. Scion definitely being hovered here to kind of eat up that 7 damage and get rid of it as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think Scion is the play here. Is there anything else that's better? I don't really think so. Yeah. I was also thinking Dragon Rearing would have been possible, because like even if the Scion is played, it heals first before it does like then any damage. So it will be like a lot more of the HP a lot more damage that's actually going to face. So now there's actually right now there's actually it going to face. So with Fluffy Angel, he's effectively at 16 HP once once the Dragon player kills the Fluffy Angel. So with 8 play points right now, okay. The Dragon player has to find a way to actually deal with this. So
yeah.
It's,
so Razia gets dropped here by Leif.
Sorry.
Oh, Razia gets dropped here, by Leif. So Dragon Ring also gets dropped at 6/8 already without an Evo. We're seeing basically the same thing, and this kind of ties into what you're saying before, Ed, about maybe Styx should have played that other embodiment of Kokitis a lot sooner to have that second sign available.
At this stage, maybe it wouldn't have made much of a difference, but we'll see. He may actually play Folio instead, Folio Evolve. That's also a possibility.
Yeah.
So
there is again.
Going. Yeah.
So could this be a Dark Prison turn here then? It's definitely being hovered, being thought about.
It's being thought about, but if he plays Dark Dragon, it's also then it will be very tricky. It will be very tricky for the room player to clear, cause if he chooses to Whirl to carry off the Razia, there's no, and then
Okay, he's gonna hold on, play around the world.
Yeah, hold on, play around the world.
I think that's actually the first time we've actually seen that this whole event, which is really weird to say, right? Like we've not really been seeing too many considerations of that. Although to be fair, World has been prominent, but when he has kind of come out, it's kind of just been running into nothing, right? Just kind of getting a bit of health and cards back and not really taking out enemy followers as such. We've only seen it been like the option to play around it once so far in that Forest matchup, and that was just thrown out the window because Sticks just didn't care about that one, right? Just wanted to go straight in. So there you go. Now the 9-8 Razzie for now, still considering his options here he has available, and same for Sticks right now. Maybe looking for that Scion, maybe looking. Yep, there you go. The second Scion coming in, gonna have to eat that 2 damage, but does get the play points back. So getting the extra 2 play points with 2 health seems to be the right call for Sticks for himself at the moment. Ramiel being dropped, Scion being dropped as well. So just gonna eat all of that damage for now. But Ramiel on board's definitely gonna help out a little bit, but is it gonna be enough to help keep Sticks alive, or are we going to see Left here going to even up the score 1-1 for our best of 5 grand finals?
Oh, they're thinking about the next turns right now. So I expect to see a pass from Stick. I'm thinking about what the Dragon player can. Oh wait, he's evolving the Ramiel. Okay, so to make it harder for the Dragon player to push any damage through. Yeah.
So you're going to take a bit of extra damage off of that one. Great consideration from Sticks once again. And you know, the 6-6 there, as you mentioned, Ed, it's going to be very difficult for Life to kind of push through that, of course. Protected from effects. So George is going to do absolutely nothing to this here at the moment. Dark Prison, I mean, if they're played, they're being wasted straight up, but he's got to find a way to clear the 6-6. Of course, Coliseum on high, given the +2 with Rush will help. Maybe considering just playing George's for that.
There's a possibility of Wings into Curse to actually clear the board also, and then leaves nothing for the Scion. But then the follow, I'm not so sure whether Dragon can follow up with the folio that will probably be coming out next turn if this is what happens. Yeah, and now that he also is like on the threshold to the world, the losing player might also actually play the world to try to recover HP. But it seems like the Wings into the Curse Furor play is what's going to happen. And Georges. Okay, Georges does 4 damage and then he trades. 2 damage, sorry. Because he's not on 10 play points yet.
Yeah. So Resolve with the clear, gonna clear that one out. A lot of consideration that Life had to play around there, Ed, but seems to have done that. 17 max health now coming through the countdown. You know, as we started, has started. It's slowly ticking away, but of course every bit of opponent health counts here. Sticks hovering that authoring tomorrow for the moment. Of course, gets it. Gets that big 5 burn that we've already seen him win a game, having that combo available with. 2 turns away as well. I believe, actually, has he used all 3 worlds? I'm just going to double check now. No, so he's let me double check. Okay, no, he's got the 2 in hand, so he might have 1 still left in deck. Of course, we don't have the deck list. We can't see how many cards these guys have in total, if he's got a play set of 3 or just has the 2. But here's our first Folia of the night. We've actually seen it been in hand quite a bit from quite a few players, but nice to finally see it actually get played out, and that are 2 scary cards right there that Life has to deal with as soon as possible.
Yeah. So so Georges right now does 4 damage to face, and hold up, is it lethal here?
So that's Reggie's got Evo available.
Reggie too, I think it may be lethal. 5
so
plus 5, yep,
there you go.
Yep, it's lethal.
So Left there is going to even it up here for the lethal now. 1-1 between our 2 English representatives here. Of course, they qualified through 2 different Mana Surge qualifiers to get here. TK Sticks in the first weekend, Left in the second weekend here. And they're battling it out now. It's going to look like it's going to be very close, very fun series here. 1-1 between both these players. Rally Shadow being burned out by TK Sticks in the first match. Vehicle Dragon being burned out there in the second matchup here. So 1-1 for both these guys for now. And that's our first loss of TK Sticks here as well for the night, not counting the quarterfinals, of course, for now. And here we go, matching up now. Control Rune versus Control Rune. I hope you guys at home love that matchup because that's what you get here for our third match here. Of course, whoever wins this will be on match point. We're going, of course, to take out the MSxREIGN Cross-Rain Cross-Cup Finals, get that cash prize, get the first ever crown of being the victor here. Of course, we're planning on having many more of these in the future with big thanks to the Rain team. And, of course, our sponsors in Select by Sonic Boom Entertainment have made it possible for us to have such an awesome and amazing event here for you guys. I'm looking forward to continue that partnership well into the future here. Very poor start, unfortunately, for Laf there with the cards in hand. And but TK Sticks seems to really like the animated little thing tomorrow. I don't know about you, Ed, but seems to like that playset quite a bit.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, Life drawn the Force Barrier. So I think this Force Barrier is going to be very helpful in this matchup because like it reduces the damage from effects by 2. So that means the Kairos Union Burst is actually doing less damage. I think it's actually doing no damage because it's like 5 instances of 1 damage rather than 5 damage straight up. Yeah. So it will actually be doing 0 damage. The Union Burst will be doing 0 damage when Force Barrier is active. Okay, but so far there's no Ramiel on the side of Life yet. Life would really appreciate a Ramiel so he can actually evolve it on turn 4 and get to turn 5 Carol if that's what they are having. The option is going to be very powerful in the mirror.
Yep.
Okay, so seems like they're just drawing cards at the moment to try to get their key cards. Okay.
Might I add another game without a Ramiel Evo now? I think because we've brought it up, it's not happening now. That's where our castle guys is going. The countdown started on the side of Laf Sticks now. Having to worry about his permanent health already. And unfortunately, he doesn't have a return. Can't even drop his own one in return. There does have another All Thing Tomorrow being dropped there. So, going to be used up. Looking for the extra cards. A Ramiel being dropped here. Of course, going to be great to try and block out a lot of that spell effect damage. You're going to have to run the full in just to keep it alive. Ramiel now being picked up. Could see the Evo there. It's going to potential another play point there. Kakaitis combo. Also, potentially an opportunity.
Yeah. Too bad the Ramiel came a turn too slow because the fact that Sticks didn't evolve, right? So that means that the Ramiel doesn't actually generate another play point for Life. If Sticks had used the evolve point, then Life could actually evolve the Ramiel in order to get the extra play point, but that's not what's happening here. So it looks like the number and the play points that he has will be an accurate indicator of what turn it is, at least until turn 10.
I'm so used to see the Ramiel Evo points, man. It's like, but of course not happening here. So probably expecting to see Sion just straight up clear the Evo for Sion coming through here, and big 7/7 follower on board now that Styx has to try and deal with here. We'll draw the other full there, of course, with that effect, getting the extra 2 health back. So getting the health back from playing the spell in the first place to get Sion, not too bad, not too shabby indeed. Full being picked up finally for Styx. So he's looking to start his own countdown there on the likes of Laf here for now. But hovering Fola, looking for a potential turn 7 play with her. There is the full. So that's 4 play points to work with. But we could see that Evo sending back to 6 play points is going to happen. Of course, going to probably need it as well to help try and clear out what he can. Wings of Tomorrow potentially could be played there. Vegeta's Determination will be dropped. Big 10 damage, an Evo point return, and the 2 play points back. What a game, what a round there for Styx there. Using up the play points, using up the turn as much as possible to get complete board control. Of course, clearing out the border Leif there and starting his own max health countdown.
Yeah, but Life also has another fool to do that, so maybe he might actually play it. It looks like he might actually play it to actually reduce the max HP by 2 per turn instead of 1 per turn. But okay, I don't really think there's a need to Evo here, so maybe he might play the Alistair just to clear the Linker.
Hmm.
Yep.
An easy 2-2
Or
clear. Oh, sorry, an easy 4-2 clear, I should say there. Sorry, though. What's he
Yeah.
going to play outside of that?
Or he might decide not to play anything for a bigger threat. Or wait, so he does evolve, so get the 2 play points back. So what other combos will he want? Oh, he's just trading with it and Ramil. Okay, I guess. Not really sure whether this will pay off, but yeah, they are the ones that are in the tournament, right? Not us. So maybe they have a game plan that we haven't like thought about yet.
I mean, we saw Grand's resolve being dropped there just for the draws. Ramiel being responded. So Ramiel and Ramiel. The problem is, of course, that Laf does have the advantage here, having double Scourge down. He's going to be very careful of that, especially when the Carol's come into play. He's definitely going to play around it. And that Carol there, you can see it's being hovered by Leif, right? He's seeing the advantage, going to get an even bigger advantage here already. By the end of Stick's next turn, he's going to have 9 HP left. Permanent health, I should add that as well. Not any that he can get back because, you know, control rune into control rune. You don't exactly take an Archangel, right? You don't exactly take that one in case the one-off chance you run into a control rune mirror. But I mean, you never know. These guys might have one hidden away, although I seriously doubt it. It would be pretty cool to see, not going to lie. But Stick's now hovering his options HP.
Yeah, and so now that he's permanently at 11 HP, the world will definitely trigger both of his effects, although the heal is going to be pretty much useless at the moment. And it's also interesting to note that Life has already drawn all 3 of his worlds, so we won't. And so it will actually limit the amount of combos that he can actually pull during turn 10 if it gets to turn 10.
Demon of Purgatory being selected here. That's a very interesting choice. I mean, 9/6 discard random card, that could be huge here.
I think he's trying to discard Carol, but unfortunately for him, he doesn't know that there is no Carol to discard.
Yeah, and also, it's a 1 in 7 chance? I want to say 7 cards in hand. Like, that's a very big gamble. Alistair's going to be dropped to clear out the Carol that is here. So, again, board controller's back. The 9/6 is definitely nice to have, but now he's on permanent 9 HP. Of course, nothing he can really do about it here. Card that got discarded, let me double check that, was a Madcap. So, I mean, that could have been used to get a Carol there and potentially look to end the game a lot sooner. Grand's Resolve being dropped here anyway. We're going to see Laf's own Folia being picked up. Instant Alistair to clear out the 9/1. See you later coming through. And Laf's pretty much laughing here. He's basically got game almost set in stone. Of course, as you mentioned there as well, Ed, double world available, a big 6 cost, insta-kill draw too, but doesn't get health back, isn't going to help him too much in the long run. I mean, the 0/1's basically useless here at the moment. Ramiel could be dropped here. Of course, the 2/2 that can absorb spell damage, authoring tomorrow, could also be an option here. Of course, getting the 5 burn, he kind of needs to try and find a way to bring himself back into the game to win con, as long as staying around.
Oh, I was actually going to say that I think that he may be considering to play the Frost Barrier here, cause like if Last does have a Carol in hand and it's sufficiently Union boosted, this could end the game this turn. But he decides not to. He decides not to do that.
Yep.
I'm supposed it's because he's behind right now, and he really needs all the help he can get.
He could also be waiting for the potential turn 10, right? Because I mean, if a Carol gets drawn, turn 10, Universe is always going to be around, right? So maybe he's got a big brain third eye. You know, he used Pegasus Millennium Eye and can see Carol's not in his hand, right? So he's saving that force barrier for that turn 10. But it was, you know, maybe consideration that you brought up there, Ed, that maybe Stick should have been aware of, maybe should have played it that turn early just in case, right?
Yeah. But then again, because this, even if that top deck if Life did top deck, this he could actually do it. Do it because like he could like play the Fluffy Angel or play the Alistair and then the Union Burst will be at 9. But he didn't. But okay, then again, this is a pretty imposing board that Life has at the moment, and it depends on how he's going to clear this, I guess.
And look at that. He looks like Life took your advice and set his sticks, right? Plays out the force barrier, ends up having his own Foliar that's just going to completely rip this apart here. Of course, the spell shift and Foliar gone now. 6-6, 6-4 to deal with. Going to drop to 5 HP. If Laf can find Carol at any point from now, it's instant game. So this is going to be so close here. It's a matter of, can he find it in the next 23 cards he needs? He's got 2 different Carols he can pull here in these 23 cards, of course. I have to wait and see if he's able to do that. We saw plenty of times in our first qualifier, I believe it was as well, where there are so many key cards we didn't see in a lot of big top decks until like bottom 10, bottom 5 even. I remember one of our games that we saw double main cards back to back, card 7, card 6 in a 7-card deck left over. So just because it's set like this here, Sticks might be able to turn it around miraculously. We'll have to wait and see. The World coming up here. You know, maybe expecting to just accept the burn at this point, having force barriers. Only going to do 2 so far, but of course he has to be careful. Actually, no, because if he takes the 2 red, his max health's 5 is what we we're just saying. So he can kind of just play attack world here with no issues. Dark Mage being dropped as well.
Yeah. So Clash of Heroes to get rid of the Folio's shield effect.
Yeah. It's running out of time though. If he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it fast. So he's gonna do that because he doesn't really care overly much if the 7-3 stays alive. Like decides not to attack with them.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. So there's the Authoring Tomorrow effect ready to go here. His own Forbidden Dark Mage ready to go as well. Definitely going to probably have to look towards playing that very soon because his burn damage is definitely going to hurt a lot. It's already 5 coming out from Authoring Tomorrow. World gets dropped here. Going to take out the 7-3 Big Hill. Big can play his own Authoring Tomorrow here.
Yeah.
It's going to...
And the Clash of Heroes to wipe the bot.
Yeah, so...
Alistair?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he's going to play his own Dark Mage, I'm definitely sure. So, Authoring Tomorrow now. I mean, at this point, it's last game to lose here at this point. The permanent health loss is big. Authoring Tomorrow already set up here as well. The max health's going to drop him down to 3.
Yep.
This is... Oh, wow.
Hmm.
That's a full coming down. Probably going to be, the Scourge there. Not really too much else, though, I think Six can do here. And this might already be game by the looks of it.
He activated a force curve.
Madcap. Okay, nice clear, nice clear. Carol could be played.
Carol could be played. It'll be at 10 and deal 5. Then the Altering Tomorrow will deal additional 3 damage, right?
I mean, Forbidden Dark Mage.
With a Forbidden Dark Mage saving him 1 HP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a finish. What a finish. And this, again, we're in Grand Finals. There's still games to go. This is not even match point here. 5 there. All the way we'll do the 4. Dark Mage saving his life. There's the exact very similar combo that Sticks used to get himself into the Grand Finals in the first place. But there you go. The win coming through there for Life. 2-1 now. Up on TK Sticks with Life, the Dark Horse player here, being on match point right now. What an amazing series of seeing here so far. And here, of course, for the grand finals for the MSxREIGN Cross Cup final stage, I have to say here, absolutely insane. Laf only has Lox's Forest remaining to try and secure himself the win, secure himself the cash prize coming through here. Six, of course, still having his own control in his own Lox's Forest as well. I can't believe how close the series is, and it's been absolutely amazing here tonight so far, and we could be seeing our final game right now.
So they're going for the Lox's Forest Mirrors? Yep. So we know that they are both using Lox's Forest from the previous game, so let's see how their mulligans turn out. So none of them have Lox's yet. So the host is deciding and Life is still deciding what to play here, what to mulligan away. I would potentially throw away both Giant Pastures and Shamu at this point. I'll keep the Kokoro because Kokoro is a card draw. Yeah. and those two are not really needed right now. Although they are good card to actually help to push damage later on, I think they are not really needed at the moment. Oh, but he decides to keep the giant pastures first.
Maybe just, consider just having that available already, having it in hand. Maybe just wants to have it ready to go. Because, I mean, how many games have we seen here already, Ed, where it's kind of just been giant pastures has come out. Turn 6 has always been great for instant drop into that instant turn 7 with Loxus, right? And Vermin Hunter. I mean, we've seen it time and time. I think we've seen it 2 or 3 times already here tonight so far. We could be seeing it again here tonight to finish things up. I mean, it's normally the key combo to kind of end things up, although it is being hovered for now for a potential steed play on turn 1. Of course, could be bounced with Deepwood Wolf to get extra draw. Could be played just with Cockroach. The Cockroach is a bit stronger, the 2-3 instead of that 1-2 for turn 2. That'll be a bit of a problem that Styx will have to run into there. Xeno being dropped instantly for that draw as well.
And on Styx side, he also already has a Ramil, so we are going to probably see another turn 4 Ramil evolve.
Check it on the list, boys. Check it on the list. But again, Xeno gets put out there. There's Shamu, big follower coming through. We've seen it be a huge win condition for Styx before. Nice to have that back in hand. Same for Laugh even here as well. Elf Queen is all being picked up. Another huge follower. The 2-3 Cockroach. Again, basically being unmatched here at the moment. The 3-3 Vagabond Lizard also being dropped out. Varmint Hunter being picked up here for Styx. So Styx is building up his collection. Has Shamu and Shama. Has Sakuna. Has Varmint Hunter. Just missing Loxus and, of course, Giant Pastures for now. Almost has everything ready to go. Elf Queen, I believe, will be dropped here. Because either way, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say here, Ed, that instead of the we do see the evolve for Ramiel, we could even see the evolve for Elf Queen coming here to try and just deal with this board that Styx has to try and get through.
That's also a possibility on the live draw the Varmint Hunter, but Varmint Hunter on force not really that good. So I don't think that will be played. Yeah, I don't think that will be played right now. I don't think that will be played right now because Varmint Hunter only deals damage when the amulet leaves play, not when it enters play, unlike Loxus. So, I do think that there will probably be some combos involving Deepwood Wolf being played here because he probably wants more draws. But he's going for the Windfairy first. Okay. Yeah. Fairy Wisp, Deepwood, then Kokoro will be like that is the way that they can actually trigger the draw two play 2 cards combo for Kokoro.
Yeah. And I'm just seeing as well, of course, while we're waiting for this to be played here, but like Twitch chat absolutely enjoying this grand fun here at the moment. But Styx coming in, kind of spoiling the end of that amazing last game to finish for that one. Styx, get out of the chat, man. You're meant to be playing. What are you doing? Get out. Stop ruining stuff for the viewers. Get out of here. At this point, I hope left 3-1s because that's just none of that. Obviously, I'm joking. Don't bias. But I mean, that was an amazing match there, and I hope you guys have enjoyed not only the grand finals, but this whole series so far, both qualifiers and the playoffs here, the finals for our Mana Surge, Cross Rain, Cross Cup. Everything mentioned before. Big thanks to those guys. Giving us the opportunity to have this amazing event here so far, and if you see the Elf Queen does come out, we do get someone correctly, gonna have to deal with that board one way or another. And Styx now his opportunity to finally get a little bit of payback here. 4 damage to face, a big 4-5 ward follow up ready to go as well. But again, Leif, no, I think he might be a bit set here. Does have some great cards in hand, but maybe not the ones he needs to clear this board. I think he's maybe looking for his own Elf Queen to kind of even up the odds.
I think Varmint Hunter is the play here. Yep. Because he Varmint Hunter and evolve to get more play points back so he can play more stuff. Yeah. That
he's kind of forced to here, right?
Yeah. Which is a bit unfortunate. because he right now is at 3 play points. There's less things he can do with them compared to next time.
Yeah. And that's the thing we were talking about literally like a couple minutes ago, right, Ed? Right, like we're talking about how Life he's already burnt out Giant Pastures, he's now burnt out Hunter. As you look to Styx, he's got Pastures, He's got Hunter. He's got his aggro cards finishing things off as well, and still is getting control here. This could be Styx's game to win, just currently going off of the hand so far and just how well Styx has played around it. Even taking the amount of damage, he has half health left available.
Mm.
So I am watching out for that Sukuna. I'm not gonna lie. That's that could be a game winner here.
Yeah. Okay. So yes. Oh, so he's going to return the bomb. No, he's returning the
Yeah. Oh, he could play Shama here.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, big damage here. 5 HP left. Styx is in big trouble because right now Sukuna can end the game. Sukuna's 1 off from being able to end the game, but there is 2 in hand. He has a manual Evo. Of course, he can't use that on the Sukuna, but there's still plenty of other cards he can play around. Depends on his top deck here. Varmint Hunter will clear the other Varmint Hunter for now. We'll also clear out the Shama. So right now, I believe, if I'm correct here, Ed, that Life is like 1 damage away from being able to take this one out, and the Ramiel being a huge roadblock that he has to deal with now.
If instead he had taken back the Varmint Hunter, I'm not so sure whether there will be better combos, cause he could Varmint Hunter evolve into Sukuna, but taking he took back the Fairy Wisp for some. Okay.
Burns the Evo. Alright, he's maybe looking for that Shama. It's got Storm. That's going to do it. Although Cockroach comes down and said Union Burst to end this one off here. We have our winner coming through here, and Lap is actually going to take it out over TK Styx 3-1 for our grand finals. The Dark Horse takes it here against the favorite, the favorite to take out the event currently. Wow. Absolutely insane matchup. What a way to finish it off and end.
Yeah, I didn't expect the Union Burst to be like active so early. So that was also something that. So that was the reason why he actually tried to bounce back the 0 play point and the Fairy Wisp. So yeah, I actually do this combo. Then that was something that I've missed out because I didn't expect the Union Burst to be active so early.
Yeah, there's so many things you have to keep track of, right? I think our brains might have defaulted a bit because we've seen this deck be played so many times and won, and basically the same way so many times, right? It's a little bit strange when we see something come out of nowhere like that. But I mean, even if he didn't play that, I'm pretty sure he still could have won with the Shama combo there as well, because I had Evo off already, could have had the 3-3 to finish it off. He just wanted to finish it with style with the Universe to wrap things up. But again, what an amazing series to end off our grand finals here. Life going to be taking home the cash money prize, the champion, the crown for the first ever Cross Cup champion here. And I mean, Ed, what an experience. Not just these guys here in the finals have had, but I mean, everyone has had for both qualifiers, the finals here as well. A major opportunity to really have the first ever outside of the World Grand Prix, the first against cross collaboration between Japan and the outside world, right? Having a competition at this level and having these guys have the opportunity to play against each other like this is not something that we really get much of a chance to do, right? So
yeah, I'll be looking forward to the next season. What will happen as well?
Yeah, you heard that first. We're going to be getting ready, of course, for that next Cross Cup. We can't say dates yet, but we're hoping to get that one to you guys as soon as possible because, again, it's been an absolutely amazing series here, and I can't believe the way it ended. I honestly thought Styx might have ran away with that one, even being 3-2, but I'm so happy here that Laf was able to get it here. Of course, again, maybe one of these up-and-coming players taking this one out here, and that's what you get here with the Mana Surge Cup styles as well. You never know who's going to win. You never know who's going to take it out, make it to the top 4. It's always exciting to see, so make sure you stay tuned to everything Mana Surge, guys. Follow us on Twitter, join the Discord server, but obviously follow us here on Twitch as well to be a part of this awesome action that you can be a part of, whether it be viewing at home or playing against some of these players as well, because the opportunities, I want to say they're unmatched and without any other league for Shadowverse. So make sure you do that, guys. Again, an amazing finish to this cup. A big thanks to all the guys who played here today so far. Ed, was there any final words for yourself, Ed? I mean, thanks for being on the technically, obviously, for a start. Obviously, brought it in last second. It's been amazing casting with you here for the finals, man. But was there any last words you wanted to say?
Well, congratulations to Live and all the other competitors that have participated in this competition. We would also like to wish everyone a happy Valentine's, and there'll be a SVO West happening later today. So you please check that out as well. It's in twitch.tv/ S
SVO
SVO underscore esports, right? Yeah,
Yep,
and
exactly.
also happy Chinese New Year to the Chinese, and I hope you will be excited for the minis and the tournaments that will be following after this.
It's still my job for me. He's still not for me. It's nice and
Right.
easy for me. No, it's fine. Seriously, having to say some extra words. I'm gonna seriously, and all jokes aside, obviously,
Yeah.
big congrats to these guys. Want to support that as well. Again, big thanks to you, Ed, for joining here, Bjorn for running everything behind the scenes, and again, I want to give a very big thank you, not just obviously the MSxREIGN guys, but for Reign and of course our sponsor Select by Sonic Boom Entertainment for giving us this opportunity to bring this event to you guys. We had this behind the scenes working on it for quite a few months, and we're very happy with how it turned out. And we're hoping to, bring another big event to you guys as soon as possible. Of course, our next upcoming event will be the next volume 2 of the Eternal Awakening MSxREIGN Cup, as Ed mentioned, after the drop of the mini expansion. It's going to be a big expansion coming through. I think some of the cards have already been released, some big cards. I believe I saw there was a big dragon card that got dropped just recently. So if you haven't checked that out, go and check that one out. It's going to be a very interesting expansion to attack, I guess, the control meta that has kind of formed here over the past number of weeks, past number of months with the Eternal Awakening expansion. But once again, big thanks everyone. Please tune into the West SVO 2021 February Top 8 Cup course, the first Top 8 Cup here for the West region, of course, the Americas and Europe. It's been a little bit controversial the past 24 hours, but please go and check it out. Support your top 8. Support our man, Chris, different fight as well. He's joining Lewis on the cast test for the first time for the Pro League, being able to make it there. Absolutely cool to see him there. So now Shira and Chris have both made it. Now I'm waiting for Michael, hopefully very, very soon. But that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed everything, and we'll see you for the next Volume 2 MSxREIGN Cup Eternal Awakening. Till then, guys.